Chapter 253. The red light dyed the entire Ming-Ing mountain range. An illusory image of a dragon and a phoenix danced in the sky. The dragon and phoenix cried out together, symbolizing a wonderful and beautiful scene. It was the soul stone expert that the Ming-Ing sect had invited to carve out the soaring dragon and phoenix. The quality of the soaring dragon and phoenix could be judged from the size and charm of the dragon and phoenix. The dragon and phoenix were godly, vivid and lifelike, with a charm that could be passed off as real. That was a high-quality soaring dragon and phoenix. When the guests saw it, the owner would also have faith. Of course, the soaring dragon and phoenix only belonged to the rich and powerful. Ordinary spirit cultivators would definitely not be able to create such a thing. Hu Qianmei was brought back to the cage-like embroidered pavilion, and once again stood in front of the window. Her face was pale as she gazed at the festive scene in the distance. Her heart grew colder and colder. Ying stood behind her. His face was equally ugly. Poisonous Centipede King wanted to execute Ying, but under Hu Qianmei's threat of death, Ying managed to escape the calamity, and the matter was suppressed. But everything was not over. The two of them might not have a good ending. The number of people watching over the embroidered pavilion had more than doubled, and the number of people on guard had increased, and this time, Poisonous Centipede King and Giant Whale King were both stationed in front of the pavilion. In such a situation, it was impossible to escape. When? Hu Qianmei asked lightly. It's almost noon, Ying said weakly. Is it almost noon? Hu Qianmei muttered. She looked at the scene in the distance, her heart sinking. The clamor in the distance became louder and louder as time passed, as though one could hear many congratulatory voices from the clamor, and all sorts of other attributes of profound spirit chi floated over. It was almost time. Hu Qianmei's fingers curled together. Just then, a group of people quickly walked in from outside the embroidered pavilion, and the person leading them was actually the vice-sect leader of the Ming-Ing sect, Ren Zhiheng. We greet vice-sect leader. Poisonous Centipede King and Giant Whale King saw them, and immediately bowed. It's almost time, Poisonous Centipede King, bring your men to dress up. When the auspicious time comes, bring them to the heaven and earth. Quickly enter the bridal room. Ren Zhiheng said expressionlessly. So urgent. It's just a formality. Oh, Poisonous Centipede King obeys. The corner of the woman's mouth curved into a smile. She signaled the maids on her left and right side with her eyes. Then, she turned around and walked towards the embroidered building. Without hesitation, Poisonous Centipede King went upstairs and entered Hu Qianmei's room. All right, my beautiful young lady, it's time for us to go. Later on, I will dress you up beautifully and let you shine brilliantly. Radiant and brilliant. Poisonous Centipede King laughed and said to Hu Qianmei, who was standing in front of the window. Pretty and beautiful? Hey, good. Hu Qianmei chuckled. He was actually extremely cooperative and walked towards Poisonous Centipede King. Seeing her like that, Poisonous Centipede King was slightly surprised. She thought that Hu Qianmei would not leave the embroidered pavilion no matter what, but she did not expect her to be so obedient. However, this was also good. It saved her a lot of effort. Sigh. 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 That's right. Come, Guardian Hu, follow me. Poisonous Centipede King Ken laughed, and let the maid beside him support Hu Qianmei, and walked out. Oh right. Hu Qianmei suddenly stopped. What happened? Poisonous Centipede King asked. Ying is my maid. Now that I am getting married, she can no longer serve me. I want you guys to give her a sum of spirit coins, and let her leave Ming-Ing school. Hu Qianmei smiled and said. Young lady. The maid called Ying was startled for a moment, then her eyes turned red. She ran over crying, and knelt in front of Hu Qianmei. Ying doesn't want to leave, young lady, young lady. Hu Qianmei extended her small hands and wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes, and laughed helplessly. I know you are not happy in Ming-Ing school. You better leave and go home. Young lady, then you. I should also find a home. Don't look at my small appearance, I am actually not young anymore. Ing, quickly find a good family, don't worry about me. Hearing that, Ing cried even more. Poisonous Centipede King, you will agree, right? Hu Qianmei turned and asked Poisonous Centipede King. Of course not. I will get someone to arrange it. Poisonous Centipede King nodded. Alright, let's go. Hu Qianmei did not hesitate, and walked towards the embroidered lady. Poisonous Centipede King brought Hu Qianmei to the dressing room, where everything was already prepared. A few servants started to help her change her clothes, make up, and even put on all sorts of precious treasures. Hu Qianmei was expressionless, as quiet as a stone person, allowing them to do as they pleased. After who knew how long, the cute little girl had become a dignified and beautiful bride. Although her face still looked a little childish, it was more of a charming and gentle beauty, causing the Poisonous Centipede King and the others to stare in awe. She was truly a fox spirit, although she did not look old, but her figure and face were enough to charm all the stinky men. Poisonous Centipede King's heart surged with jealousy, but thinking that after today, Hu Qianmei would not be so glorious, she felt more balanced. Cover your head, let's go to the wedding grounds, wait for the dragon and phoenix soaring to enter your body, then we will begin the wedding ceremony. Poisonous Centipede King laughed and said, Yes. The servants started to get busy. Very quickly, a group of people headed towards the wedding grounds. The wedding grounds was set up in the open, and was actually a gigantic array formation. The grounds were all made up of precious crystals, and when people stood on it, they would be able to receive the energy released by all sorts of materials, which could nourish their qi channels, cleanse their internal organs, and allow them to obtain countless benefits. And in the middle of the array formation, was the dragon and phoenix soaring that Minging School had spent a lot of manpower and money to carve. A dragon and a phoenix image revolved around the totem. It was mystical and profound. Around the dragon and phoenix soaring, sat a large number of invited guests. The great clan elder of the Colored Rock sect, Relentless Heart Pavilion's Vice Pavilion Master Wang Xianming, Exuding Fire Sect's clan elder Yang Gu, and the other experts were all present. The famous Kuei family, Feng family, and other big families all came to congratulate them. And these were just the initial guests. There were still a large number of esteemed guests on their way up the mountain. Haha, Protector Lu, congratulations, congratulations! Congratulations on marrying such a powerful dual cultivation companion, congratulations! I never thought that, Protector Lu, you would actually gain Protector Hu's favor, and the two of you tied the knot. That is truly unexpected. Protector Lu, when will the bride come out to receive the blessings of the dragon and phoenix soaring? We have been waiting here for a long time, haha. Yes, 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 we want to see the bride, quickly invite the bride out. When the guests saw Lu Xiandong coming over, they all stood up and laughed as they shouted. Some of them even started to make a ruckus and clamored. Lu Xiandong, who was dressed in a red robe, greeted the guests from all directions. He was extremely busy, and when some of the more awkward words were said, he only laughed and did not reply, appearing extremely reserved. Very quickly, the representative of Blossom Heart Valley, Guillemoju, arrived. When he entered, he was immediately surrounded by a large number of powerhouses and sections. Blossom Heart Valley's reputation was extremely high among the various sections. Although it was Guillemoju who came this time, and his cultivation was not high, but Guillemoju's position in Blossom Heart Valley was not low. All the matters in the valley were handled by Guillemoju, and for Blossom Heart Valley to send him over, it showed how important his position was. Master Gue. Hello, Master Gue. Haha, long time no see, long time no see, how have you been? Everyone stood up to greet him. Guillemoju laughed and returned the greeting. After that, he was arranged by the Minging sect to sit at the front. Minging sect's movement this time is really big, to actually invite so many people. Guillemoju sat down and drank his tea. He looked around and could not help but sigh. After all, it is the union of the two great protectors. No matter what, it has to be lively. A disciple by the side laughed and said, "Who knows how many good things will be waiting for us to taste later? I'm afraid we will reap many benefits this time," a few of the Blossom Heart Valley disciples said excitedly. For a spirit cultivator's wedding banquet, it was not as simple as eating and drinking. Spirit cultivators' requirements for food had already dropped to an extremely low level. They were more concerned about cultivation. All the food and spirit wine in the wedding banquet were beneficial to cultivation. The food and drinks were all extraordinary. You only know how to eat and drink. Later on, don't lose your decorum, and throw our Blossom Heart Valley's face," Guayamoju said sternly. Hearing that, the few disciples did not dare to be rash. "The people from the 3 items deity palace are here." At this moment, someone shouted, and a group of energetic people walked in from the entrance. "The people from Smoky Wind Valley are here. The people from the Bai family are here." The cheers continued. All the tyrants from all over had gathered. But all of these could not beat the most resounding word. "The bride is coming." With that said, the entire place erupted. Just then, in front of an empty space outside of Ming-Ing Mountain, Zhui Ming and Jai Sha's face congealed, staring intently at the person in front of them. The person in front of them was standing in the middle of the array. His entire body was covered in blood-red evil qi. Baleful qi. The baleful qi was extremely ferocious. It was like a hurricane rippling out. If the two of them did not have such terrifying cultivation, they would not be able to withstand the baleful qi. Ling Qingyu was unable to withstand the qi, and had long hidden in the sword sheath, not daring to come out, not even making a sound. "What kind of array is this?" Finally, Zhui Ming could not help but ask. "Demonic Descent Array." The person standing in the array slowly opened his eyes, and said with a sinister face. His eyes were as red as blood. "Demonic descent?" Jai Sha congealed his eyes. The current Su Yun was so strong that even the two of them could not contend against him. After activating the heavenly crystal, with the support of the demonic descent array that was constructed with a series of powerful materials, the current him had already reached an unprecedented peak. If it was any higher, his body would instantly explode, and he would die. But now it was just right. The current you is enough to contend against the sect leader. "Who exactly do you want to deal with?" Zhui Ming took a deep breath and asked. "A lot of people." Su Yun fiercely exhaled, controlling his body that was filled with blood qi. He walked out of the array and walked forward. Zhui Ming and Jai Sha immediately followed behind. Su Yun leapt up, transforming into a bloodlight. In a moment, he rushed into the big door of Ming-Ing sect. At that moment, there were many Ming-Ing sect disciples standing at the door. They were busy greeting the people from the various sects that were attending the wedding. "Congratulations, congratulations!" Every guest that entered cupped their fists and smiled. When the 3 of them with evil qi and blood qi landed in front of the big door, the Ming-Ing sect disciples were all stunned. Su Yun tugged on his cloak, as though there was no one around. He walked straight into the big door, with Zhui Ming and Jai Sha following on his left and right. "Stop! Who are you guys? Did we invite you guys?" The person in charge of Ming-Ing's sect at the door felt that something was wrong, and immediately stepped forward, blocking Su Yun, and shouted. But in the next second, Su Yun suddenly raised his leg, and fiercely kicked the man. Boom! Like a bullet, he flew out, smashing into many statues behind him, fiercely crashing into a pavilion, piercing through the entire pavilion, and finally falling into a pile of rubble, his life or death unknown. Baleful qi rippled out, diffusing in all directions. Everyone around was shocked, and immediately retreated, looking at the man anxiously and cautiously. "Do I need you to invite me?" Su Yun raised his head, patted his cloak, and continued forward. Along the way, Su Yun headed straight for the place where the dragon and phoenix were in the sky. Is it about time? Zhang Wu Ming, who was preparing to enter the venue, asked the person beside him. Yes. Everything is prepared. Very good. Let's go in, Zhang Wu Ming said indifferently, and was about to step into the wedding venue. Then, just at that moment, his face changed, as though he had sensed something, and anxiously walked towards the long path. Sect leader, what's wrong? Ren Zhiheng and the rest asked. Seems like there are uninvited guests, Zhang Wu Ming said. In the time it took for them to speak, 3 figures appeared from afar. What a weird qi, what a thick stench of blood. Zhang Wu Ming frowned and spoke to Ren Zhiheng beside him. Let Xian Dong continue with the wedding, I'll go take a look at the background of these people. Yes. Ren Zhiheng nodded and turned to leave. Zhang Wu Ming frowned and walked towards Su Yun. Just that. When he got close to Su Yun, he saw Su Yun's arm move, and a pitch-black death sword was pulled out. Killing intent rippled out. Without hesitation, he was decisive. Zhang Wu Ming's heart jumped and asked, Who are you? Are you Zhang Wu Ming? Su Yun walked towards him and asked. That's right. You're the sect leader of the Minging sect. Zhang Wu Ming did not reply and asked back, Are the few of you here to attend the wedding? No. Su Yun raised his head. A pair of blood-red sinister eyes appeared in Zhang Wu Ming's hands. I'm here to kill people. With that said, Zhui Ming and Jai Sha, who were beside him, immediately transformed into 2 smokes, and rushed towards Zhang Wu Ming. What? Zhang Wu Ming was shocked. He never thought that someone would be so daring to dare kill him in the Minging sect. Just that, when Zhui Ming and Jai Sha made their move, Zhang Wu Ming perspired in cold sweat, his body turning weak. 2 Spirit Star Realm experts. How is that possible? He muttered. Chapter 254. Multicolored light blossomed, and all kinds of enhancement array imprints emitted a fragrant smell. The guests sat together in 2s and 3s, drinking spirit wine and spirit tea, chatting loudly, and the scene was very lively. However, as the bride entered, all the guests stopped talking and looked towards the entrance. The tall and slender poisonous centipede king, together with a few beautiful and well-dressed servants, supported Hu Qianmei, who was dressed in wedding makeup, and walked over. This is the legendary protector Hu? Why is he so short? Could it be that protector Lu Xian Dong likes this kind of stuff? The disciples of Blossom Heart Valley whispered to each other. Don't talk nonsense. Guillemot Ju stared at the few of them and said, Protector Hu's physique is unique. I am unable to understand it. All of you better not speak carelessly. If the people of Minging School hear it, it will be troublesome. Shivering, they nodded and didn't dare to say anything else. Hu Qianmei's entrance caused the entire place to be in an uproar, and all sorts of cheers erupted. Lu Xian Dong's face was full of smiles. Seeing the person walking over, a gleam of satisfaction flashed across his eyes. At this moment, outside the wedding venue, Elephant Formless Art. Zhang Wu Ming did not dare to be careless, and immediately used his famous mystical technique. 2 golden elephants that looked like Buddha gods appeared around him, and the golden elephants kept on releasing golden rings, which entered his body, strengthening his body to a terrifying level, as though his body was plated with a layer of gold, shining with light auras. The moment Zhui Ming and Jai Sha rushed towards him, they both pulled out their evil swords and stabbed forward. The blade of the sword shone brightly, and the shrill howls of the evil souls could be heard coming from it. But, clang clang, 2 crisp sounds rang out, and a large amount of ripples spread out from the sword's edge, accompanied by the evil qi that spread out in all directions. Looking at Zhang Wu Ming again, he was actually unharmed. The twin black swords were actually unable to break through Zhang Wu Ming's body. Zhui Ming and Jai Sha both frowned. Out of the way. At this moment, a cold shout exploded from behind. What followed was a bloody pressure that was thick to the point it caused one's soul to tremble, and it pressed straight towards them. Zhui Ming and Zhai Sha reacted and dodged to the side. Zhang Wu Ming was startled, and saw a red light flash in front of him. Before he could react, a sword had already broken through his defense and pierced into his chest. Elephant invisible magic was like paper. Clang! The two golden elephants beside Zhang Wu Ming immediately crumbled and turned into smoke. Formless, has actually been broken. Zhang Wu Ming stared at the sword in his chest. Ah! Just then, an even more terrifying roar erupted from Su Yun's back, but the blood light behind him surged, and an endless might surfaced. Suddenly, a blood-red heavenly demon image quickly appeared behind him. The image's hand formed a fist, and with an unstoppable force it smashed towards Zhang Wu Ming. The attack launched by the heavenly demon phantom. It was actually several times stronger than Su Yun's attack. That blood-red fist seemed to be able to destroy everything in this world. Dong! Zhang Wu Ming's chest was punched, and all of the dense profound spirit qi in his body was actually dispersed. All of his protective treasures were broken, and he flew out, crashing into the walls of a few houses, and directly fell outside of the soaring dragon phoenix. He was sent flying, and the heavenly demon dispersed. Su Yun carried the death sword and walked towards Zhang Wu Ming. The commotion had already alarmed the higher-ups of Ming Ying sect and the dragon and phoenix soaring sect. What happened? What's going on? There seems to be an explosion? The qi in the air is… What is it? The guests all stood up and looked towards the direction of the explosion. Lu Xiandong, who was about to hold on to Hu Qianmei's soft hands, froze and immediately turned to look. When they saw the person who was struggling to stand up, everyone was stunned. Zhang Wu Ming, the sect leader of Ming Ying sect. Many of them opened their eyes wide, using all their strength to look, afraid that they were seeing things. The current him. His chest was caved in, blood was spitting out from the corner of his mouth. His qi was weak. His face was pale white. How could he look like before? This is Zhang Wu Ming? Not an impostor? But the sect leader of Ming Ying sect, Zhang Wu Ming. How could he be in such a sorry state? What kind of person could do this to him? An expert above the spirit star realm. In that moment, everyone had the same thought in their minds. They could not help but shiver. A true expert would restrain his qi and hide his true strength. Just based on them, they could not sense the opponent's true strength, unless the opponent purposely revealed it. Sect leader! The people of Ming Ying sect rushed over and helped Zhang Wu Ming up. Ren Zhiheng and the four heavenly kings looked on in shock, as though they could not believe their own eyes. The invincible sect leader actually spat out blood? He was a second-stage spirit star realm expert. At this moment, he saw three figures walking quickly towards him. The three of them were dressed in black, two of them were in Blade Master attire, holding onto black swords, and the one walking in front had a blood-red sword on his back, a sword sheath on his shoulders, dressed in a cape, and in his hands was a sinister-looking black sword. This person was covered in blood-red qi, emitting a cold intent that could freeze water, especially his baleful qi. It was so dense that it made it hard for people to breathe. Poisonous Centipede King looked at the person, his face instantly turned pale, and muttered, "It's him? Isn't this?" Guillemot Ju, who was at the side, suddenly stood up from his chair, pointed out, and looked at the person in a daze. "Who are you?" Lu Xiandong clenched his teeth, led his people forward, and shouted at the three people. "Her man!" Su Yun held onto the death sword, and pointed at Hu Qianmei. With that said, it was like a bomb exploding the entire place into an uproar. Her man? Protector Hu Qianmei's dual cultivation companion? What's going on? Isn't Protector Hu Qianmei going to marry Protector Lu Xiandong? What's going on? When did Protector Hu Qianmei get along with such a strong cultivator? Does sect leader Zhang not know about this? Everyone's astonished voices resounded, and a surprised expression appeared on every face. What bullshit are you talking about? Lu Xiandong's face was extremely ugly. After a while, he suppressed the anger in his heart and said, Protector Hu Qianmei is about to become my dual cultivation companion. When did she become yours? When? Very early, Su Yun said indifferently. Her physique was long taken by me. Why would she marry you? What? Lu Xiandong was petrified. Hu Qianmei, who was wearing the veil, heard the change, and immediately lifted the veil to look, only to see 3 figures standing there. Her eyes were fixated, and her heart was trembling. He's here, he's really here. Could it be that in this world there's really someone who cares about me? She had never thought that, at this time, there would actually be someone who would come and save her, and this person was the person she hated so much. In this world, she only hated 2 people, one was Long Xianli, and the other was Su Yun. But she never thought that Su Yun would actually come and save her, and he was facing so many tyrannical experts. Hu Qianmei's heart was in a mess, her thoughts were all over the place, but without a doubt, at this moment, she felt an unprecedented happiness. No matter what kind of attitude this person had, at least, he cared about her, and when she was in despair, he really came to bring her away from this disgusting place. This idiot. Hu Qianmei bit her lips, but her mouth was curved into a smile. Su Yun walked forward alone, and walked towards Hu Qianmei. Poisonous Centipede King, who was by the side, was trembling like a sieve. Her face was extremely pale. She immediately retreated. How would she dare to provoke this killing god? Su Yun extended his hand out and gently said to Hu Qianmei, I said, I'll pick you up in 2 days. Now let's go? Hu Qianmei nodded her head lightly, tears flickering in her eyes. She extended her hand out and placed it on Su Yun's big hand. Stop. Nobody, do you know what this place is? You dare to behave atrociously here. Eat my move. An expert from Mingying's sect roared and rushed towards Su Yun. But before he could even get close, a black sword image swept through the sky, and with a tyrannical and fierce stance, it sliced through his waist, and he died instantly. A first-stage spirit soul cultivator was killed in one move. The guests all sucked in cold air, they were all shocked. This person's strength, how strong was he? Is Mingying's sect a place where you can behave atrociously? Zhang Wu Ming, who was at the side, was extremely furious. He anxiously swallowed a pill. His qi suddenly becoming stronger, he bellowed and rushed towards Su Yun. Like a ferocious tiger pouncing on its prey, his qi increased explosively, pressing down on everyone, causing them to feel as though their skin was about to split open. It was extremely uncomfortable. Then, Su Yun did not hesitate anymore, the ominous glint in his eyes released. He turned and slashed. An evil spirit shot out from the sword blade, releasing a mournful roar. It directly tore towards Zhang Wu Ming. This is evil qi. Zhang Wu Ming felt the power. His face turned pale, and immediately shouted out, What? Evil qi? Don't tell me these people are evil realm people. No wonder their qi is so sinister and terrifying. I never thought they would be evil realm people. Oh my God, quickly run! The evil realm people are here. Quickly run! Everyone was shocked, the entire place was in chaos, and countless of people ran out. Evil realm people. To the people of Sky Martial Continent, they were fierce and cruel existences like demons. Evil realm people? That person should be Master Su Yun, but when did he become an evil realm person? Guillemot Ju was stunned. Everyone, the appearance of the evil realm people will definitely harm our Sky Martial Continent. Everyone quickly come with me to kill the evil realm people, and protect the lives of the world. Zhang Wu Ming took the chance and roared, instigating the surrounding tyrants to help him, while he himself released thousands of afterimages, dodging the evil spirit's slash, and attacked Su Yun. Su Yun's body transformed into a black mist, enveloping the afterimages. The black mist released countless of sword images, shattering the afterimages. Zhang Wu Ming knew that he was not Su Yun's opponent in terms of cultivation, so he immediately stopped using mystical techniques and switched to using treasures. He took out a fiery red flower-shaped object, closed his eyes and chanted a few chants, then threw it towards Su Yun. The fiery red flower-shaped object floated over, its entire body gradually releasing a blazing heat, and in a few breaths of time, the object was like a blazing sun. The temperature was extremely high, melting rocks and iron. It was terrifying. True burning mysterious flower. Vice sect leader Ren Jiheng exclaimed. The flower suddenly sped up, closing in on Su Yun, and then split into a few gigantic flower petals. With Su Yun as the center, it surrounded him. Watch me refine you alive. Ah! Zhang Wu Ming started to frantically instigate his profound spirit qi. The temperature of the flower petals became higher and higher. Su Yun's entire body felt as though he was in a blazing inferno, extremely hot. Help, master! Zhui Ming and Jai Sha shouted at the same time, releasing a large amount of evil qi, fiercely rushing towards Zhang Wu Ming. Evil realm people, don't be so savage. Eat my splitting mountain cleave. Minging Sect's giant whale king rushed over, bellowing. He raised his axe and slashed towards Zhui Ming. Overestimating yourself. Zhui Ming did not dodge. Instead, he stabbed his sword towards Giant Whale King. Giant Whale King was shocked. He felt that it was weird. Why is he not dodging? Does he want to exchange blows with me? Just that, his thoughts were wrong. Zhui Ming's evil eyes flickered. Evil qi surged from his arm. Suddenly, an evil spirit came out from his arm. With two sinister evil claws, it fiercely grabbed onto Giant Whale King's blade. Clang! The blade was blocked. Not good! Giant Whale King's heart jumped, and immediately retreated. So strange. Is this the technique of an evil realm person? It was completely unexpected. The evil sword that was thrusting towards him had already pierced into his chest. So the moment the evil sword touched his chest, countless terrifying evil hands came out. They grabbed onto Giant Whale King's body, and then fiercely pulled. Chi-la! Giant Whale King's fat body instantly turned into a large amount of meat. His organs, blood and bones scattered all over the ground. One of the four great heavenly kings of Ming-ing sect had died. He died like a pig or a dog. Such a method made the people who were prepared to help Ming-ing sect hesitate. Today is a personal grudge. If anyone dares to help Ming-ing sect, this will be the outcome. Su Yun said sinisterly. Following that, he roared. In that moment, a deep roar exploded out from behind him. Following that, a gigantic blood-red heavenly demon image appeared, raising both of its hands up high, transforming into iron fists, fiercely smashing onto the flower petals. Bang 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 bang! The flower petals were like paper, being smashed into pieces by the heavenly demon's iron fists. Ah! Zhang Wu Ming spat out blood, his eyes dimming. He could not understand why the illusory figure's might was so terrifying. He did not know that Su Yun, who had descended from the heavenly demon, had already received the protection of the heavenly demon. Chapter 255. Su Yun's words spread, and almost everyone who was ready to make a move hesitated. 3 Spirit Star Realm cultivators, with just the cultivation of the Spirit Soul Realm, how could they be their opponents? Everyone was just here to drink the wedding wine and get some benefits. There was no need for them to lose their lives. Exuding Fire Sect Clan Elder Yang Gu's face was gloomy as he watched the cloaked man fighting with Zhang Wu Ming. His heart sank. After thinking for a while, he cupped his fists and said, Sect Leader Zhang, these evil realm beings are very strong. I am afraid only my sect leader can fight against them. Sect Leader, please hold on, wait for this old man to invite my sect leader, then I will come and help you. Goodbye. With that said, Yang Gu immediately turned and leaped, flying out of the place. The Exuding Fire Sect people retreated. Yang Gu, you! Zhang Wu Ming said anxiously. But he was already far away. Sect Leader Zhang, I suddenly remembered that I have urgent matters to attend to. I will not stay any longer. Goodbye. The people from Colored Rock sect also left in a hurry. Sect leader Zhang, take care. Sect leader Zhang, I suddenly remembered that someone from my sect is also getting married today. Haha, look at my memory, I will be taking my leave. After Su Yun shouted out, everyone woke up one by one, as though they were avoiding a god of plague. They anxiously left. All of you despicable people! Zhang Wu-ming was forced to retreat by Su Yun. Seeing everyone leaving, he was enraged. He opened his mouth, Poochie, and spat out another mouthful of blood. The human heart is hard to fathom. It truly is hard to fathom a human heart. All of you claim that you are from a righteous sect, and take the peace of the sky martial continent as your responsibility, but when the calamity is upon us, all of you only care about your own safety. Today, these evil realm beings have killed me, Zhang Wu-ming. Tomorrow, their blades will be on your necks, just you wait. Zhang Wu-ming roared. So, before he could finish speaking, Su Yun rushed over again. He held onto the death sword with one hand and quickly danced. The evil spirit that came out from the sword blade frantically attacked Zhang Wu-ming. The evil spirit was easy to deal with, but the heavenly demon figure that came out from Su Yun's back was extremely terrifying. It was not something that a human could fight against. It most likely had the power of a fourth-stage spirit star realm cultivator. Zhang Wu-ming found it harder and harder to hold on. He continuously used his trump card treasures to fight back. His spirit chi was extremely dense, and could easily crush any existence below the 9th stage of the spirit soul realm, but the opponent's chi was much stronger than his, especially the baleful chi. It could almost crush his meridians into pieces. Wait. Zhang Wu-ming's eyes flashed as he suddenly felt that something was wrong. However, the man's exposed hands were blood-red. His tendons were bulging and his blood vessels were protruding, as if they were filled with some kind of energy. This person's body didn't seem to be very strong, but why was his cultivation so terrifying? Don't tell me. He's relying on some magic treasure to temporarily raise his cultivation? Thinking to there, Zhang Wu-ming made a decision. He flipped his hands, and 2 balls of fire appeared in his palms. He then flipped his palms. Die! An angry roar came from his mouth. The white clouds in the sky turned into raging flames and converged into a fire dragon that was 1,000 feet thick. This fire dragon had 8 claws and 6 horns. It was ferocious and terrifying. Roar! The fire dragon descended straight towards Su Yun. Ultimately, he is a 2nd stage spirit star realm expert. How can he not have any abilities? I can't delay anymore. Su Yun's expression became serious. He controlled the sky demon behind him and pressed on towards Zhang Wu-ming. Sky demon blood sacrifice. Su Yun bellowed. The sky demon image behind him suddenly left his body and rushed into the sky. Very quickly, it transformed into a gigantic circle array in the sky and pressed down from above. The vast and mighty sky demon power spread out. The bone-piercing demonic power spread far and wide, spreading throughout the entire Ming-ing sect. This power immediately attracted the attention of countless experts who were preparing to retreat. What a terrifying power! This man is actually so powerful. When did that slut Hu Qian Mei climb up to such a powerful backer? To be able to dual cultivate with him? Lu Xian Dong, who was at the side, was shocked as he muttered to himself. How can there be such a powerful demonic power? Did something happen to Ming-ing sect? In the sky outside of Ming-ing Mountain, a few figures were approaching on their swords. When the demonic power swept over, everyone's expression changed. They were stunned. But then, an even more majestic and imposing ruthless roar exploded. Let's end this. The sky demon's blood sacrifice array was directly pasted onto Zhang Wu-ming. Ah! Zhang Wu-ming let out a thunderous roar. He had already used all of his strength. Both of his hands released a black and white universe chi. He struck towards the sky in an attempt to reverse the power. But just as he was resisting the blood sacrifice array, Su Yun transformed into a black ray of light and rushed over. It was a power that could swallow mountains and rivers, an invincible might. At that moment, in that instant, Zhang Wu Ming was completely at his wits' end. Poochie! The black ray of light swallowed him, then quickly spat him out. In a flash, he appeared behind Zhang Wu Ming. And at the place where Zhang Wu Ming's heart was, unknowingly, pierced by a pitch-black sword. The sword had pierced through him, and in a moment it had destroyed all of his strength. The blood sacrifice array fell, smashing all of Zhang Wu Ming's bones into smithereens. His blood meridians were dried up, and he was on the verge of death. The death sword started to take effect, frantically absorbing the power in his body. Gudong! Gudong! A weird sound came out. Who exactly are you? Who are you? Zhang Wu Ming was already powerless to resist. He was about to die. He used all of his strength to grab onto Su Yun's cape and shouted unwillingly. But Su Yun did not say anything. His blood-red eyes looked at him quietly. The death sword frantically absorbed the power in his body, transforming it into dense profound spirit chi for Su Yun. The death sword only absorbed evil spirit chi. Towards non-evil people, it was unable to absorb the power and use it. Zhang Wu Ming's hand that was grabbing onto Su Yun's hand gradually lost its strength. In that moment, the sky suddenly darkened. In that moment, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. All living beings wept, and waves of bone-chilling wind blew across the entire Minging Mountain. A spirit star realm expert had fallen just like that. This was a huge matter that would shock the entire southern continent for hundreds of years. A huge matter that everyone would sing about. The surrounding Ming sect disciples who had yet to disperse stared blankly at the scene. Everyone's expression was filled with shock. Sect leader! Renji shouted. Zhang Wu Ming's body fell from the sky, landing heavily on the ground, and there were no longer any movements. Since you have already made up your mind to sacrifice others to obtain benefits, you should have thought that there would be people who would disregard everything to take your life. Su Yun retrieved the death sword from Zhang Wu Ming's withered body and kept it in the sword sheath. The Minging sect expert who was still fighting with Zhui Ming and Jai Sha, how could he still have the heart to resist? In that short period of time, the 4 heavenly kings had already been killed by the opponent. Countless experts had died, and there was no chance of winning. Ren Zhiheng, who was injured, saw that Zhui Ming and Jai Sha were having an easy time, and did not think anymore. He shouted retreat, turned and ran far away. The group of disciples did not stop and quickly retreated. Want to run? Zhui Ming and Jai Sha wanted to give chase. Let them go, don't stay here for too long. Su Yun turned and looked at Lu Xiandong, who was also planning to escape, and said, Just capture Lu Xiandong. Yes, master. The two of them exclaimed and rushed towards Lu Xiandong. Minging sect's collapse was out of everyone's expectations. The previous day they were still flourishing, but in the next moment they were in ruins, and the people scattered in all directions. This was a common thing in Sky Martial Continent. People were afraid to provoke the strong, because a true strong cultivator could destroy a city with a flick of his finger, as easy as plucking a leaf from a flower. Lu Xiandong had calculated and calculated, but he did not expect such a sudden change. He controlled the 10 black needles on his waist, and made them collide with each other. He activated the 18 human spirits that he had refined, and rushed towards Zhui Ming and Jai Sha, who were chasing him. Then, before these human spirits could even get close to Zhui Ming and Jai Sha, they were all sliced into pieces by the sword chi released by the two of them. All the human spirits were destroyed, and Lu Xiandong spat out a mouthful of blood. Jai Sha landed beside Lu Xiandong, with one hand pressing on his shoulder, then with a leap, he landed in front of Su Yun, and threw him onto the ground. Lu Xiandong struggled for a while, and anxiously stood up, but he did not dare to. Instead, he knelt on the ground and kowtowed to the ground. Master! Master, Lu Xian Dong was blind, and wrongly took your love. Please forgive me. Please spare my worthless life. Although Lu Xian Dong was a powerful cultivator who was about to step into the Spirit Star Realm, he was definitely unable to fight against 3 Spirit Star Realm cultivators. If he wanted to live, he could only kowtow and beg for mercy. Don't be like this, Protector Lu. Su Yun squatted down and lifted his cloak, revealing a pale and demonic face. You're a 10th stage Spirit Soul Realm Almighty Cultivator. I'm just a 5th stage Spirit Soul Realm Cultivator. How can I receive such respect from you? 5th stage Spirit Soul Realm? Lu Xian Dong was startled and anxiously raised his head, looking at Su Yun's face. After a while, he finally recognized him. It's you? You're Su Yun? Just then, Su Yun's fiendish and berserk power was like a receding tide, disappearing crazily. In a blink of an eye, he was like a mortal. The sudden change made Lu Xian Dong realize. So, you're borrowing the power of a treasure, that's why you have such power. If not, how do you think I can rush into the Spirit Star Realm in such a short time? Su Yun said and stood up. There was no one around. Mingying's school had completely dispersed. No one would have thought that today's wedding would be the anniversary of Mingying's school's death. Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, Lu Xian Dong laughed out loud. His laughter was miserable, filled with helplessness. I never thought that. Originally I just wanted to use Hu Qian to break through, but in exchange I would get such a result? Is this fate? Ha 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 ha. Fate. Su Yun shook his head. There's no fate in this world, your fate. He turned and said indifferently, Kill him. Yes, sir. Zhui Ming and Zhai Sha immediately took action. The sword images slashed horizontally, and in a moment, Lu Xian Dong was dismembered. Fresh blood flowed all over the ground. Withered grass, broken wood, ruined scene, all the flourishing scene was smashed into pieces. Hu Qian, who was by the side, watched the scene in a daze, looking at the increasingly demonic, increasingly savage Su Yun. She suddenly became lost. This person is really Su Yun? If not for this face, it would still be Su Yun. She almost didn't recognize this person whom she had forced to a dead end in the past. Lu Xian Dong's fall announced the destruction of Mingying's sect. Everything was finally over. There was no one around, only corpses on the ground, some fresh blood. No one could have predicted that the flourishing, powerful Mingying sect would be destroyed in a single day. No one would have known that there would be such a day in Mingying sect. Maybe from today onwards, all the big sects would be in danger. No one would know, in the next second, whether or not there would be a strong cultivator who would turn his hand and eliminate them. Reality was cruel. It was because of this that people would desperately chase after the Supreme Tao, that all the sects would crazily nurture strong cultivators. Because this world was a world where the weak were prey to the strong, it was a cruel world. Su Yun wore his hood, turned and looked at Hu Qian. Hu Qian was still looking at him. After a while, she regained her senses. Now you can leave. Where to? Hu Qian pursed her lips and said lightly, Go where you want to go. Oh? Are you here to save me, or are you afraid that I will affect your cultivation? And, you are really direct, but Su Yun, I am starting to like you. Maybe I will not be able to remove the connection between us so easily. The 2 Spirit Star Realm cultivators beside you actually call you master. Seems like you will become a very good support for me. Hu Qian laughed. But in the next second, her delicate and exquisite body was carried up, her fragrant face was almost in front of Su Yun's cold face. Su Yun hugged her, looked at her face calmly, and said quietly, Saving you, firstly, is not to let you affect my cultivation, and secondly, is to repay you for saving me back then. I, Su Yun, am clear about gratitude and grudges. If others are good to me, I will also be good to others, but I will not be used as a spear by others. Then can I be your spear? Hu Qian laughed, suddenly sticking out her small tongue, and licked Su Yun's pale white face. Su Yun was startled, and then heard Hu Qianmei giggling. He placed the girl down, and shook his head. I will think of a way to remove the connection between us. After all, we cannot have any shackles because of this. He did not have any feelings for Hu Qianmei. Although this physique had given him many benefits, it was also a burden. If he could remove it, it would naturally be the best. Haha, now that you are strong, you think that I am a burden, but that's fine. After all, you saved me this time. I don't blame you. Hu Qianmei looked around, and her eyes suddenly lit up. Su Yun, since the matter has been resolved, shouldn't we get down to business? Business? Su Yun did not understand. Hu Qianmei raised her small hand and pointed to the sky. Don't waste it. She licked her lips and smiled seductively. Chapter 256. Outside Ming Ying Mountain, two lonely figures sat on top of a rock, quietly looking into the distance. The surrounding was eerily quiet, the atmosphere was strange. Is this the Sky Martial Continent? How long have you not been here? It's my first time here. The black figure on the left hesitated for a moment and said, So it's like that. This place is much better than the evil realm. It's a pity it's a place for humans, like us evil beings. We will only be expelled here. That's right. The two of them sighed at the same time. Roar. Just then, a hoarse dragon roar came out from behind. The two of them turned to look, only to see the image of the dragon and phoenix in the sky had already transformed into a ray of light, descending into a dark-colored barrier. The scene was extremely beautiful. How long does Master have to do this for? I don't know. Do you have a dual cultivation companion? You've known me for so long, don't tell me you don't even know if I have a dual cultivation companion. Why do I need to know this? Then why are you asking now? I did not look for one, because I did not practice dual cultivation. Zhai Sha and Zhu Ming continued to look into the distance speechlessly. At the same time, inside the dark-colored barrier, two figures were intertwined. Strange noises and muffled groans could be heard coming from here. I never thought that Zhang Wu Ming would actually put in so much effort for Lu Xiandong to actually carve out such a powerful dragon and phoenix soaring. Hu Qianmei's small hands were on the ground, clenching her teeth. She snorted. She clenched her teeth, enduring the force from her back. That seemingly weak and delicate voice actually broke the stone floor. Su Yun followed Hu Qianmei's routine and started his so-called training. Of course, training was something he could not do alone. Furthermore, regarding the soaring dragon and phoenix, he did not understand much. Hu Qianmei obviously knew much more than him. Fiddling with the light, he watched it descend. As it approached the two of them, it split into two and entered their bodies. At that moment, Su Yun felt that the exhaustion from using the heavenly crystal and the demonic descent array had started to slow down. His spirit essences that had been temporarily sealed also showed signs of recovery. Qi rises. Rooftop. Accumulates power. Release. Wu. 3 valleys in the east. West. Wu Ah. West. 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 4 directions, Hu Qianmei said with a trembling voice, as though these few words of dual cultivation technique had exhausted all of her strength. Hearing that, Su Yun immediately did as she was told. It was as if the two's bodies were undergoing a revolution, and there was an uncontrollable rise of profound energy. From the looks of it, I don't need to wait for a few months. This side effect can be eliminated with the help of this dual cultivation. Su Yun gasped for breath and thought. Suddenly, a melodious voice that sounded like a cat's cry sounded out, and Hu Qianmei's huge and soft fox tail suddenly straightened. Her entire body trembled like a sieve for a while, and then she collapsed onto the ground, without any strength left. Waves of light appeared on her lower abdomen, and then flowed into Su Yun's body along with her lower body. Oh, Su Yun groaned and threw everything out. The two of them descended Mount Wu and rested for a while. Then, they put on their clothes and sat down cross-legged. He sat there for a day and a night. After digesting the benefits of dual cultivation and the benefits of the soaring dragon and phoenix, both of their cultivations improved. Hu Qianmei felt that the spirit essence in her body was stirring, as though there was a sudden change. When she sensed the change, she was immediately overjoyed and anxiously activated her qi, stimulating the spirit essence in her body, wanting to see the next step of development. Su Yun, on the other hand, was much simpler. With the support of the everlasting stone and Hu Qianmei's talent, he immediately broke through and stepped into the sixth stage of the spirit-soul realm. It had to be said that the benefits of dual cultivation this time was unprecedented, and far exceeded his expectations. This soaring dragon and phoenix is truly an extraordinary item. Mingying School painstakingly created it, with the goal of allowing Lu Xiandong and Hu Qianmei to display the greatest benefits of dual cultivation. I never thought that it would benefit me. He recovered some qi, stood up, and looked to his side, only to see Hu Qianmei sitting cross-legged, her huge tail wrapped around her small body. Her delicate face was flushed red, her red lips were alluring, and at the moment she had her eyes closed, and was seriously circulating her qi. If he did not urge his treasure, Su Yun would not be Hu Qianmei's opponent. In such a short period of time, Hu Qianmei's qi seemed to have signs of rising. Could it be that she was about to break through? Advance to the spirit star realm? Su Yun thought. Just then, Hu Qianmei slowly opened her eyes, her small mouth slightly opened, and exhaled. You're about to break through? Yes. Hu Qianmei stood up, patted the sand on her new makeup, and said, I want to go into closed-door training for a period of time. All right, then I'll say goodbye here, I should go too. Hearing that, Hu Qianmei immediately opened her eyes. Where are you going? He, Su Yun, are you going to leave after you've eaten your fill? Didn't you get the benefits too? Tsk Su Yun, this is the first time I realize that your skin is so thick. Sigh, do you not feel the slightest bit of guilt for making a move on a little girl like me who looks like she has yet to mature? Su Yun was silent for a moment, then nodded his head. Yes. Hee, at least you still have some conscience. Hu Qianmei did not pester him, laughed and waved her hand. Go. You rascal, quickly go find your little Qing. I want to find a place to go into closed-door training. I will strive to break through in the near future, and step into the spirit star realm. All right, take care. Su Yun nodded, and did not say anything else. All right, can you give me something? Just as Su Yun was about to leave, Hu Qianmei suddenly said. Something? What thing? Anything, as long as it's something you've used before. It doesn't matter if it's too good, your cultivation is too weak, and you rely too much on treasures, you can keep those treasures for yourself. Hearing that, Su Yun became suspicious, but he did not ask any more. After thinking for a while, he took out the gigantic rock spirit nucleus and handed it over to Hu Qianmei. That's right. Hu Qianmei took it, giggled, and carefully kept the spirit nucleus. She waved at Su Yun, and then stepped into the air and left. Walking backwards was really agile. Su Yun rubbed his nose and directly left Mingying School. Outside, Zhui Ming and Zhai Sha finally waited for Su Yun to come out. The two of them did not say anything, but their pair of evil eyes were extremely strange. Let's go. Su Yun coughed, thanked them, then activated the order badge, and hurriedly sent the two of them back to the evil realm. After everything was over, Su Yun returned to Blossom Heart Valley alone. He had already made a decision, and went to Blossom Heart Valley. After discussing with Xian Yu and Xingyang, he headed north to find Qing. The commotion caused by Mingying School quickly spread throughout the entire continent. In a day's time, everyone in the continent knew of it, and at the same time, almost all the sects and powerhouses in the continent were stirred. A sect, a spirit star realm cultivator, fell just like that. What could be more shocking than that? Especially, the one who killed Zhang Wu Ming was actually an evil realm person. Previously, there were the demonic Qi cultivators in Purple Star Academy, followed by the spirit demon Dao in Blossom Heart Valley, and now, there were evil realm people in Minging School. All the demons and evil realm people had gathered. What did that signify? The Sky Martial Continent entered a state of alert. All the sects and powerhouses started to communicate with each other, strengthening the cooperation between them, raising their heads and looking at each other, huddling together, preparing to face the unknown danger. At the same time, all the sects and clans started to organize a large number of search teams, and started to investigate the various regions. No one could predict that the next one to suffer a calamity would be their own sect. Su Yun heard the news, but did not care. He had the heavenly scale divine eye. As long as he did not instigate evil spirit chi, the evil chi on his body would not be sensed, unless a spirit star realm cultivator personally came to investigate him. He landed in Blossom Heart Valley, and prepared. Guillermo Ju seemed to know of some things, but did not say much. Su Yun was not afraid of what Guillermo Ju would say, because he knew that Master Gui trusted him, and he trusted him too. Everything was ready. He rode on a purple-horned beast and headed north, towards the northern continent. To go to the north, it was necessary to pass through Long Ao Nation. After all, Ting Long Nation's territory was like a crouching dragon, separating the north and south continents. To travel between the north and south, if one did not take a detour, he could only pass through Long Ao Nation. After the battle at Minging School, Su Yun's cloak had once again become the focal point of the storm. To not attract attention, Su Yun had no choice but to change out of the cloak, and wear his Blade Master clothes and mask again. If he wanted to find someone, he would naturally stop at the encampment, just that the Profound Sky sect and the Su family were still searching for Qing Er's whereabouts, and Qing Er could not possibly leave behind too many clues. If he were to search, it would be like searching for a needle in a haystack. Entering the borders of Long Ao Nation, Su Yun rode on the purple-horned beast and rushed towards Long Ao Nation's Sky Dragon City. Sky Dragon City was located in the center of Long Ao Nation, because it was close to Long Ao Nation's largest source of resources, the Bone Dragon Forest. It became the city with the most spirit cultivators in Long Ao Nation. The city was accessible from all directions, with many people. It was the best place to gather information. Qing Er is smart. She will definitely leave some clues for me to find. Maybe we can find something in Heavenly Dragon City. With that thought in mind, Su Yun walked into Sky Dragon City. High-quality 3 earth stones. Quickly come and take a look, it's the best choice for arrays. Does anyone need the East Garden Beast's spirit nucleus? Only 100,000 spirit coins. 100,000 spirit coins and you can take it. Buying second-hand array materials, purple level and above second-hand array materials, please contact me. Upon entering the city, Su Yun's ears were filled with all sorts of shouts and shouts. It was as noisy as a market. Both sides of the road were filled with vendors and spirit cultivators trading materials and treasures. The king of Long Ao Nation was supportive of the spirit profound rank trade, and every year, he would allocate a large amount of spirit coins to develop this trade. As the biggest country in the southern region, there was no need to doubt Long Ao Nation's strength. The king, Long Ba Tian, attempted to use the large amount of spirit profound rank trade to attract spirit cultivators from all over the world, so that they could stay in Long Ao Nation and increase Long Ao Nation's strength. This method obtained the approval of many people. Why was Long Ao Nation strong enough to become a nation, while the other powers were at most clans and became kings? Because Long Ao Nation was open enough. Su Yun led the purple-horned beast, glancing at the vendor's goods on his left and right, and discovered many good things, just that he only had 20,000 spirit coins from Blossom Heart Valley, so he could not afford the good things. But the purpose of coming here was not to shop. Su Yun walked to the biggest Sky Dragon Tavern in Sky Dragon City, handed the purple-horned beast to the beast driver to feed, and walked into the tavern, calling for the waiter to serve wine. In the taverns of Sky Martial Continent, there were many well-informed people, Some were like beggars. As long as you treated them to a cup of wine, a full meal, you would be able to ask them everything they knew. The bustling tavern was filled with people. Su Yun found a corner, took off the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword and death sword, placed them on the table, and started drinking alone. A beggar walked in from the door. He was skinny, and looked to be around 30 years old. His black eyes looked inside, and with one look, he saw Su Yun, and with a grin, he ran over. Exchanging information for wine, one of a kind. This esteemed guest, do you want to know anything new about Sky Martial Continent? The beggar rubbed his palms, looking at the table full of delicacies in front of Su Yun, and said while drooling, "There are so many people eating here, why did you choose me?" Su Yun put down his chopsticks, and said while chewing on his food, They are all old foxes in Sky Dragon City, but esteemed guest, you are not. You are dressed like a foreigner, it must be your first time in Sky Dragon City." The beggar laughed. "You have good eyesight." Su Yun nodded his head, and then made an inviting gesture, and said, "Coincidentally, I'm bored drinking alone, go ahead and tell me." "Thank you, esteemed guest." The beggar could not wait to sit down, and immediately picked up his chopsticks, taking big mouthfuls of food, and then grabbed the wine flask, pouring it into his mouth. Su Yun glanced at him, and continued to drink, and said casually, "What's new in the Sky Martial Continent recently?" The beggar swallowed the food in his throat, took a deep breath, and immediately laughed. "The most important thing is obviously the murder of Minging sect leader Zhang Wu Ming." "I've heard of that, is there anything else?" "Anything else. The Mountain River List competition is about to begin, you should have heard of it, right? Mountain River List? Is it about to begin?" Su Yun frowned. Chapter 257. Of course, customer, don't tell me you don't know? The newest seeded participants have already been chosen, and when the time comes, there will be a large-scale selection competition, and anyone who thinks that they have the ability to be a seeded participant will be able to participate in the selection competition. The selection competition will select the top 5, and these 5 participants and the seeded participants will compete for the Mountain River List rankings. Mountain River List. TSK. I wonder who the geniuses of the Mountain River List will be. The higher the ranking of the Mountain River List, the more benefits one would obtain. Countless powerhouses and sects have spent a large amount of manpower and wealth to groom their talents, and use them to enter the Mountain River List. Speaking till here, the beggar suddenly looked left and right, then stuck his head out and said softly, "Customer, I see that you are not a bad person. How about this, you treat me to the famous intoxicated dreaming death, and I will tell you an important news regarding the Mountain River List. How about it?" "TCH. Even you know the news, how can it be important?" Hey, customer, you can't say it like that, although I am a beggar, but I have my pride all right. Furthermore, people like us are the easiest to hear news, those high and mighty spirit cultivators. Even if they guard against the heavens and the earth, they will not guard against us beggars, right? This news of mine is definitely real, and was obtained from someone who seems to be an insider of the Mountain River List. How about it? Are you interested? A pot of intoxicated dreaming death. You'll definitely make a profit. The beggar chuckled. Hearing that, Su Yun lowered his head and thought for a while. His eyes turned, and then he shouted, "Waiter, bring up a pot of intoxicated dreaming death." "All right. Customer, please wait a moment." The waiter called out, and very soon, a wine pot made of jade was served. Seeing that, the beggar's eyes immediately lit up, and extended his hand out to grab the wine pot and gulp it down. But Su Yun suddenly pressed down on his palm. The beggar was startled. He looked over, and saw the calm eyes under the mask, and immediately laughed dryly, and immediately went over and spoke softly. "I heard that this time the Mountain River List has a few extremely rare treasures. As long as one is in the top 3, they will be able to obtain these rare treasures. Every single one of them is priceless." "Incredible! Rare treasures? Who provided it?" I'm not sure, but someone who can take out such a big treasure is definitely not a simple person. They are most likely people from the mountain river list. Then do you know what kind of treasures they are? Su-yun asked. This. I don't know the specifics, but I heard from that person that there is something called the Through Heaven Mirror. It is said that once you obtain this item, as long as you shout out the name of the person or treasure you are looking for, this treasure will appear for you. Once you obtain this item, it will be very easy to find any treasure. There will definitely be countless people drooling over it. Think about it, how many opportunities are there in the Sky Martial continent? How many treasures are left behind after death? With this, those hidden treasures will be easily obtainable. There's such a treasure? That is truly a rare treasure. Su-yun sighed with emotion. Suddenly, his expression froze as if he had thought of something. If he had such a treasure, wouldn't it be easier for him to find Ching-er? As long as he shouted Ching-er's name, he would be able to know Ching-er's location through the magic treasure? Su-yun's heart jumped a few times. He looked at the beggar and asked seriously, "Where will the Mountain River List competition be held?" "The North." "Which region?" "Where else can it be?" "Of course it's the Wen-Hsien region. Wen-Hsien Chin Creek, the mountain and river geniuses gather. You don't even know that? Dear guest, are you moved by the treasures? If you have not cultivated for more than 30 years, then you have the qualifications to participate, but if you have, then I'm sorry. To spirit cultivators, 30 years was not a long time. Many people had cultivated for 30 years, but had not even reached the spirit soul realm. But, to those people with great talent and resources, 30 years was enough for them to rush into the spirit soul realm. Seems like I have to go to Chin Creek. Su-yun stood up. Dear guest, are you going to participate? This selection competition should be open to the entire continent, right? That's right, but if you go just like that, you obviously do not have the qualifications. Oh? Why do you say that? The beggar laughed, then went closer and asked, May I ask, dear guest, where are you from? Julian region. Julian region? That is the southern continent. Are you from the south? Yes. Does that matter to you? Matter? What does it matter? Dear guest, you don't know? The Mountain River List has its own unwritten rules. Unwritten rules? How do you do that? Su-yun wiped the perspiration off his face. It's a simple rule. Everyone in the Mountain River List wants to participate, after all, even if it is not for the treasures. To exchange blows with an expert is fine. All you spirit cultivators should know the benefits of exchanging blows with an expert, but that way there will be more people participating. So, to limit the number of participants, they have set up a special rule, and that is to recommend people to participate. Recommend people to participate. That's right, dear guest, you don't know? As long as you fight with people who have already obtained the qualifications to participate, and gain their recognition, and obtain their recommendation, then you can participate in the selection competition. People who have already obtained the qualifications to participate? Are they the seeded participants? How is that possible? The seeded participants are all talented geniuses. How would they have the time to entertain you people who are participating? Those who have already obtained the qualifications to participate are people who have been selected by the officials with more potential, and are not seeded participants. So it's like that, according to what you're saying. Isn't it difficult to participate in the competition? Since if others are unhappy and reject you, then you can't do anything about it. If your strength is high enough, you can directly defeat him, then you can safely participate in the competition. If your strength cannot compare to him, you can get his recognition. Anyways, you still have to rely on your own hard work. I only know this much. After saying that, the beggar started to wolf down the dishes on the table. Su-yun frowned and thought for a while, then suddenly asked, Then are there any participants from Sky Dragon City? There are. There are a few. Why? Dear guest, are you preparing to go? I recommend you to go find the young master of the Western City Wang family. Young Master Wang is a loyal and honest person, compared to the other young masters. He is not as cunning. As long as your strength is up to standard, he will most likely give you the qualifications, and will not ask for any benefits from you. Young Master Wang. Su Yun stood up, without wasting any more time. He took out a small bag of spirit coins from his storage ring and threw it on the table, then left. Thank you for your hospitality. The beggar who was eating till his mouth was covered in grease said. Just that, Su Yun was already out of the restaurant. Bringing the purple-horned beast over, he found out where the Wang family was located, and immediately rushed over. In less than the time it took for an incense stick to burn, he arrived at the Western City Wang family's entrance. What made him slightly surprised was that in front of the Wang family's mansion, there was actually a large number of young men and women. All of them were dressed extravagantly, as though they were all sons of rich families. There were a large number of purple-horned beasts roaring non-stop. Everyone was gathered in twos and threes, discussing softly. Some of them had impatient looks on their faces. When Su Yun walked over, other than a few men and women at the side who glanced at him, the rest did not even look at him. Su Yun jumped down from the purple-horned beast and tied it to a big tree. Then, he walked towards the mansion. I am Wu Yun. I wish to see young Master Wang. Can I trouble you to inform him? Su Yun rushed to a gray-robed servant standing outside the mansion and said, Wish to see young Master Wang? The servant looked at Su Yun, then laughed. Is this young master's first time here? Look at all the young masters and misses here. All of them wish to see our young Master Wang. Hearing that, Su Yun was startled. He looked over, only to see many of the young masters and misses looking at him with mocking smiles. Kid, if you want to see young Master Wang, then queue up. Slowly wait, hey. Two young men laughed and said. Su Yun did not say anything. Just then, the gray-robed servant took out an order badge from somewhere and passed it to Su Yun. Young master, you are number 481, please wait patiently. In a while, someone will come out to call your number, and when it's your turn, you can go and see our young master. Su Yun. Being under someone else's roof, how could he not lower his head? But from the looks of it, what the beggar said was true. Young Master Wang's character was not bad. If not, there would not be so many people looking for him. Su Yun returned to his purple-horned beast, quietly looking at the group of people. He realized that there was a small group of people who were dressed shabbily. They were gathered at the back of the crowd, distancing themselves from the young masters and misses. Just then, the door of the Wang mansion opened slightly. Following that, a servant ran out and shouted, inviting the noble number 311 to enter the mansion. It's my turn. A fat man with a fat body laughed, raised his sign and ran in. 311? There are so many people in front of me? I think I still have to wait for a while. Su Yun exhaled, sat down cross-legged, and started to recuperate his chi. Look, what is that idiot doing? Is he training here? Isn't he embarrassed? Brotherly, ignore him, we are people with status, how can we be like those country bumpkins? A few of the young masters whispered to each other, and started to place their attention on the beautiful ladies. Su Yun's ears were quiet, and he quickly entered a good state. Now that he was in the 6th stage of the spirit soul realm, all of his spirit essences had broken through the 50,000 mark, rushing straight towards 100,000. The profound spirit chi in his body was like a vast ocean, boundless, and the monarch occult force was the core of the ocean. It controlled all of the profound spirit chi, giving the ocean its vitality. Just being in the 6th stage already gave him such a feeling. Who knew what realm the next great cultivation would be? Su Yun's mind was shining. Inviting the noble number 481 to enter the mansion. Just then, the shouts came again. 481? Su Yun opened his eyes, stood up, and walked over. Your number 481? The servant asked. Su Yun nodded and handed the sign over. The servant looked at it. His face revealed a smile, and said politely, "Young master, please follow me. My young master is waiting for you at the martial grounds." "All right." Su Yun nodded and followed into the Wang mansion. Chapter 258. The servant leisurely led the way in front, while Su Yun followed behind. The prince's mansion was quiet and elegant. After entering the main gate, there was a jade path with flower beds on both sides. The fragrance of flowers assailed the nostrils. In the distance, a few tall pavilions stood tall and straight, looking very beautiful and exquisite. "Does your young master have to receive so many people every day?" Su Yun, who was following behind the servant, suddenly asked. "Yes." The servant nodded. "All of you are here for the qualifications to participate in the selection competition?" "Yes." "How can that noble young master entertain so many people? Sparring with hundreds of people? I'm afraid even an Iron Man wouldn't be able to endure it, right?" "Young master, you're worrying too much. My young master doesn't intend to exchange blows with you one by one. If you want to exchange blows with my young master, you must first pass my young master's test. Only if you pass will my young master fight with you and grant you the right to participate in the competition." "I see. Then, how many people have passed the test?" "Only 6 out of a few hundred people. That's quite a low probability." The servant did not speak again. The two of them went around a few buildings, passed through a huge iron gate, and came to a flat open space paved with green brick. There were several arrays on the open space, and the shelves on the side were filled with weapons. On the right side of the weapons there were several jade platforms, and on the jade platforms were a large number of bottles and jars, which seemed to be bottles for medicinal pills. However, those things could not attract Su Yun's attention. His attention had already been attracted by a 4-meter-tall stone statue in the middle of the martial field. This stone statue was abnormally tall and sturdy. Standing in the middle of the field, its entire body was filled with an explosive energy. Of course, it was not dead, but alive. Just as Su Yun and the servant entered, the statue turned its heavy head and glanced at them. Su Yun sized up the stone giant and lowered his head to think. At the front of the martial field, there was a row of tables and chairs. A table filled with fruits and wine sat a sturdy man. The sturdy man had a square face, short hair, and wore a blue robe with tiger stripe. When Su Yun entered the arena, the sturdy man immediately let out a hearty laugh and walked towards Su Yun. "Greetings, brother. I am Wang Zhongshan. "I am Wu Yun. I greet young Master Wang." Su Yun cupped his fists in return. "Ha ha, come, Mr. Wu, this way please, this way please." Wang Zhongshan passionately invited Su Yun over. The two of them sat down and a servant immediately poured a cup of fragrant spirit wine for Su Yun. "Many thanks," Su Yun said. "Ha ha, Brother Wu is too polite. But come to think of it, the reason why Brother Wu came to find me today is most likely because of the qualifications for the Mountain River List selection competition?" Wang Zhongshan raised his wine cup and toasted Su Yun. After the two of them finished drinking, Su Yun nodded his head. "Not bad. Almost 90% of the people who come here do that. Zhongshan can understand why Brother Wu is here." Wang Zhongshan smiled, then pointed at the giant stone man standing on the training ground and said, "Brother Wu, do you know this?" Su Yun looked over and sized it up. "This doesn't look like a soul stone, but a mechanical beast? However, to be able to make it out of stone, the cultivation and attainments of the person who made it must not be simple." "Good knowledge." Wang Zhongshan's eyes lit up. He gave a thumbs up and praised. "I have asked every single person who came here what this is, but most of them thought it was a soul stone. No one knew that this was the masterpiece of a mechanical grandmaster. It truly is a work of art. This mechanism is my Wang family's treasure. There is a reason why it was placed here. It will be the content of the test." "Content of the test?" "On the way here, I asked your family's servant," he said, "if I want to obtain the qualifications from you, I need to complete your test, and then defeat you, is that right? Haha, that's right, that's right. But brother, if you want to obtain the qualifications to participate in the competition, that is actually possible, but other than the test, there is another condition. I, Chongshan, am an open and candid person, free and unrestrained, so I will tell you first, Brother Wu, if you complete my test, and obtain my approval, you can indeed obtain the qualifications to participate, but you have to promise me that during the competition, you must use the identity of my Wang family, and represent my Wang family to participate. Represent your Wang family to participate in the competition? Hee, Wang Zhongshan laughed embarrassedly. After all, I want to borrow the Mountain River List selection competition to make my Wang family famous. Brother Wu, don't worry, if you obtain the qualifications, you can only represent the Wang family to participate in the competition. All the benefits you obtain will have nothing to do with the Wang family, and all the prizes will be yours. How about it? Su Yun thought for a while. He could understand, and nodded his head. All right, then it's decided, let's begin. What? Brother Wu, are you going to go now? Not going to drink a few more cups of wine before going? No thanks. Su Yun placed the wine cup down, stood up and walked towards the gigantic golem. You're really a straightforward person. I, Wang Zhongshan, like your straightforward character the most. Good. Wang Zhongshan laughed, then took up a talisman stone on the table, and imbued a bit of profound spirit qi into it, and through the talisman stone, he sent an order to the golem. Begin the test, the target is the man called Wu Yun in front of me. Yes, my master. The golem released a deep and resounding voice, like a war drum, causing people's skin to go numb. Su Yun raised his head to see that the golem was already walking towards him. With every step it took, the ground would tremble, dust would fly, and profound spirit qi would ripple. Su Yun stood quietly in front of the golem, looking at the mountain-like existence. He did not panic at all. He could not reveal his identity, and could not use evil qi, so he decided to use other qi. Su Yun took a deep breath, and secretly activated the monarch occult force, accumulating his power. Roar! Human, I will let you experience the godly power of the earth. The golem suddenly stopped and roared. It then clasped both of its hands together, transforming into a gigantic iron fist, bringing with it a terrifying true divine spirit qi. It smashed down. Like a meteorite crashing down, the dense spirit qi caused the ground to crack. But Su Yun's expression did not change. He quietly watched the descending golem hand. Suddenly, he raised his hand. Dong! The golem hand stopped abruptly, as though the power was blocked by something. It exploded in mid-air, rippling out in all directions. Wang Zhongshan's heart trembled. He suddenly stood up, and looked over with his eyes wide open. He saw Su Yun raising one of his hands, blocking the descending iron fist. What? Wang Zhongshan was shocked. The people around him were all petrified. To use one hand to block the golem's attack, it was completely using brute force. The suppression of power. What cultivation does this person have? What kind of power does he have? To actually be able to block a first-stage spirit soul realm stone golem with true divine spirit qi as its attribute? Powerful. Truly powerful. Wang Zhongshan muttered. So, just then, Su Yun moved again. He raised his leg, activating the spirit essence in his body, sweeping out a large amount of profound spirit qi, fiercely striking the golem's knee. Bang! A powerful force spread out from the sole of his foot, enveloping the golem's entire body. The golem's power was dispersed, it lost its balance, its gigantic body bent down, and directly fell towards Su Yun. Su Yun extended his hand out again, supporting the falling golem, then exerting force, he threw the golem to the side. Bang! The entire palace began to shake. The sudden change alarmed everyone in the palace. The victor was already decided. This person did not have any pressure against the golem at all. Alright, stop. Wang Zhongshan stood up, picked up the talisman stone and said, "Yes, my master." The golem roared, climbed up, stood at the side, and did not move. "What? Is it over?" Su Yun turned and looked at him. "Of course it's over. Brother Wu, you really gave me a big surprise. This is a first-stage spirit-soul realm existence with true divine spirit qi, but you actually used your strength to suppress it. That's enough to tell, you are definitely a second or third stage spirit-soul realm cultivator. An existence like you, even I am unable to fight against you, since I am only a second stage spirit-soul realm cultivator." Wang Zhongshan immediately poured a cup of wine and passed it to Su Yun. "Brother Wu, there is no need for us to fight, you have passed. Come, drink this cup of wine, and rest in my residence for today. After a few days we will set off to ask the immortals to Qin Creek, to participate in the selection competition, to swallow the mountains and rivers, to leave our names on the mountain river list." "Good!" Su Yun nodded. He took the wine cup and poured it down his throat. After a few days of effort, Wang Zhongshan had chosen another 5 people. Including himself and the people from before, there were a total of 12 people participating in the competition. Of course, these 12 people were representing the Wang family in the competition, but this was only a title. The ranking and rewards of the competition belonged to the Wang family. The weakest of the 12 people was a first-stage spirit-soul realm cultivator, and the strongest was a young man called Luo Xiaomiao, who was a fourth-stage spirit-soul realm cultivator. Su Yun did not reveal his own cultivation level, but the majority of the people thought that he was a third-stage spirit-soul realm cultivator. Everyone reported their realm, and naturally explained the time they had cultivated, and judged their talent. What was surprising was that the one with the lowest cultivation, the first-stage spirit-soul realm young lady Hong Yen, had actually cultivated for a short 8 years. To be able to reach the first stage of the spirit-soul realm in 8 years, how astonishing was her talent! The rest had cultivated for more than 20 years, and were already considered geniuses. Wang Zhongshan was not nimble either. After choosing the participants, he gathered everyone for a drink. Su Yun did not like such banquets, adding that his identity was inconvenient. He rejected it, but he did not know that it was because of this that the others were extremely unhappy. The 6th day. In front of the entrance of the Wang residence, there were many people riding on purple-horned beasts. Other than the 12 participants, there were 2 rows of guards from the Wang family, but these guards were not strong, and were only at the 9th to 10th stage of the spirit core realm. "Is everyone here?" Wang Zhongshan shouted to the people behind him. "It's about time, Brother Wang." Hong Yen laughed and said, "That's good." Wang Zhongshan nodded and waved his hand. "Let us set off now, and quickly enter the northern continent. We will try to enter the Wenxian region earlier." "All right. Let's go." Following a shout, the purple-horned beasts started to move. A group of young geniuses with high morale welcomed the rising sun and advanced. Su Yun, who was wearing a mask, rode on his unicorn, and followed at the back of the group alone. "I must definitely get into the top 3. He clenched his fists tightly and muttered. Chapter 259. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. A group of purple-horned beasts walked together. It was a spectacular sight. The gigantic purple-horned beasts caused the ground to tremble, as though there was a small earthquake. Huh! At this moment, Wang Zhongshan, who was leading the group, suddenly stopped and looked forward. Not far away, under a big tree, stood a group of people. They were gathered together, talking about something, as though they were waiting for someone. Wang Zhongshan's eyes congealed, carefully sizing them up. But before he could look, a clear voice with a hint of ridicule came out from behind Wang Zhongshan's group. "Isn't that young Master Wang? What? You have already chosen your people, and are preparing to head to Qin Creek?" As the voice rang out, everyone turned around and saw a small group of people running over. This group of people had an extraordinary aura and were dressed luxuriously. In front of this group of people was a handsome young master with long hair and a long robe. The young master's cheeks were long and slender, and his facial features were regular. He was very handsome, especially when paired with the yellow robe he was wearing. He looked very noble. But what was more eye-catching was, he was not riding on a purple-horned beast, but a higher-grade Chilean beast. And what was even more shocking was that the lady beside the young master was also riding on a Chilean beast. "It's Bei Xian Ming," Luo Xiaomiao said softly. "The genius from the Bei Xian family? I never thought that we would set off on the same day as them." Wang Zhongshan's group members all whispered to each other. Su Yun raised his head and roughly glanced at the young master called Bei Xian Ming, comparing him to Wang Zhongshan's group. He realized that Bei Xian Ming's people were all extremely wealthy, almost every single one of them were fully equipped with treasures, and their clothes were all extraordinary. Wang Zhongshan's side was more unpresentable. Wang Zhongshan fancied ability, and thus there were 3 poor spirit cultivators in his group. "So it's brother Bei Xian. Haha, we are truly fated, to actually choose to set off on the same day, with brother Bei Xian accompanying me. I won't be lonely, ha 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 ha." Wang Zhongshan continued to use his carefree smile and lofty sentiments. Just that, Bei Xian Ming did not seem to be interested. He casually waved his hand, his clear eyes looking at Wang Zhongshan's group, and chuckled. "Brother Wang, is this the person you've chosen? Ha, giving the precious qualification to these people, your Wang clan is really daring. What, brother Bei Xian, do you feel that something is wrong?" It's not up to me to decide whether it's appropriate or not. Brother Wang, if you think it's okay, then it's okay. However, TSK, I really don't dare to compliment brother Wang's eyesight. Letting them represent our Wang clan to fight, do you really think you can keep your face? Bei Xian Ming took out a fan from somewhere. With a wave of his hand, the fan opened up with a pada sound. Wang Zhongshan frowned but did not say anything. In terms of cultivation, Wang Zhongshan's people were definitely not weak, but in terms of overall strength, they were still lacking, because Bei Xian Ming's people were all equipped with treasures, and in the Sky Martial Continent, treasures were also a type of strength. Hong Yan, who was the youngest and had the lowest cultivation, was slightly unhappy. She looked at everyone, and finally placed her gaze on the guard captain. She rode her purple-horned beast over, and asked softly, "Big brother, what is the relationship between Bei Xian Ming and our young Master Wang? Why does it seem like he has something against young Master Wang?" "Of course we can't." The guard captain sighed and said, "Our young Master Wang has a forthright personality. He is a chivalrous person, and has done many good deeds. In Sky Dragon City, he is famous for his righteousness, and is the role model for many young masters and misses. As for that young Master Bei Xian, don't think that he looks like a talented person, but in truth, he has many tricks up his sleeves. This young master is extremely lecherous. And he is extremely lecherous. He has already found 15 dual cultivation partners, but he is still not satisfied. He does not find women for cultivation, but purely for his lust. Sky Dragon City does not have many female cultivators for him to defile, so he set his sights on the commoners. Thus, to avoid young Master Bei Xian's demonic claws, they came to seek help from our young master. Our young master was not careless, and immediately brought all the women that young Master Bei Xian fancied into the residence, gave them identities, and protected them. Young Master's actions won the support of countless commoners, but he also offended young Master Bei Xian, adding that the Wang clan and Bei Xian family had some grievances in the past. It is normal for the two of them to not get along. "So it's like that." Hong Yan snorted. "This Bei Xian Ming does not look like a good person, but I never expected him to be so bad. Just talk about it, we can't do anything about it, and we have no way of doing it," the guard captain said helplessly. Su Yun raised his head and glanced at Bei Xian. No one knew what Wang Zhongshan and Bei Xianming were talking about, but after the two of them talked for a while, Wang Zhongshan's face became ugly, but he did not get angry. Instead, he turned and led the group, waved his hand, and continued moving forward. What was unexpected was that Bei Xianming led his troops, and walked side by side with Wang Zhongshan's troops. This time, the journey to the Wenxian region is long, and who knows how many dangers we will meet. Brother Wang, let us travel together, and we can take care of each other, what do you think? Bei Xianming smiled and said. Since Brother Bei Xian has such considerations, Zhongshan will not reject, please go ahead. Wang Zhongshan squeezed out a smile, and then urged his unicorn to continue moving forward. Although the two of them were on the same path, but along the way, they did not interact with each other at all, as though they were strangers to each other. It seemed like the people on both sides could see the problem between Wang Zhongshan and Bei Xianming. The muddy mountain path beneath their feet, as though it had just rained, the air in the mountain was extremely fresh. After passing through the barren mountain, they left the boundary of Sky Dragon City. Brother Wang, we have to be careful along the way. I heard that because of the mountain river list, many thieves have come out from various places, with the goal of robbing and killing the participants heading to the mountain river list, and stealing their treasures. We mustn't run into these thieves. Bei Xianming smiled and said, those who are ambushed and killed by those thieves are all people with low cultivation. These people who are participating in the mountain river list are just to make up the numbers. I don't mind them participating in the mountain river list, using all sorts of methods to obtain a spot, and traveling so far to Qin Creek, just to taste defeat? If that's the case, why not train harder and wait for the next mountain river list, and fight for a place, isn't that better? Wang Zhongshan shook his head and said. Just that, when he spoke the truth, it unexpectedly attracted the displeasure of the lady beside Bei Xianming, who was also riding a Qilin beast. The lady snorted and said coldly, to spar with geniuses there are many benefits, and it is many times better than training bitterly, why not go? The mountain river list is only held once every few years, and the qualifications to participate is limited. Those who have trained for more than 30 years are not allowed to participate. According to what you said, how many people can participate in the mountain river list competition? Hearing that, Wang Zhongshan looked at the lady suspiciously. Then, before the lady could finish, she shouted again. Furthermore, the mountain river list is a competition of strength, not cultivation. Low cultivation does not mean anything. Some people have low talent in training, but have high talent in controlling treasures. To be able to unleash 100% of the treasure's power, that is also strength. Isn't that so? Wang Zhongshan shook his head helplessly. He laughed bitterly and said, this lady is right, I have misspoken, my apologies. Humph, next time watch your words, if you don't understand, don't speak carelessly. The lady snorted. Wang Zhongshan's face was slightly uncomfortable, but he did not say anything else. Just that the people on the other side could not take it anymore. Wang Zhongshan was an honest man, and what he said was the truth. Even if he lacked consideration, it was not something that the young lady could teach him a lesson. Hong Yen could not hold it in any longer, and immediately shouted, I say, did Brother Wang poke your weak spot? Why are you reacting so strongly? Brother Wang is right, what right do you have to say that about him? Who do you think you are? She is just a 9th stage spirit core cultivator. Just as Hong Yen finished, a tall skinny man beside her spoke out. He was called Long Hai and was also part of Wang Zhongshan's group, and was a 2nd stage spirit soul cultivator. With that said, everyone around was shocked. Long Hai, what did you say? She is a 9th stage spirit core cultivator? Someone asked. Of course. Long Hai nodded his head. She is wearing a magic treasure that hides her cultivation, so you guys can't sense her cultivation. However, I happen to have a magic treasure that can see through cultivation. No matter how well she hides it, I can still sense her cultivation. Why you? The lady's face immediately flushed red. She pointed at Long Hai but could not say a word. Everyone came to a realization. No wonder when Brother Wang said those words, the lady had such a huge reaction, so her cultivation is the lowest here. Thinking about it, it is understandable. Haha, Brother Wang, why did you say that? Did you hurt her? Isn't this considered inferiority complex? Haha, a few of the simple-minded members purposely raised their voices and laughed. The lady was about to explode, her entire body trembling, her eyes staring straight at the people, as though she wanted to tear them into pieces. Su Yun could not help but be suspicious. Long Hai actually had such a treasure. I wonder if he could break through the heavenly scale divine eyes shield, and sense my cultivation? But seeing that he did not have any reaction, I'm afraid he can't see through it, right? On the other side, the lady was enraged and roared. You bastards dare to humiliate me! I want to duel with you! With that roar, the entire place became quiet. Duel? Wang Zhongshan was startled. A ninth stage spirit core cultivator was challenging a group of spirit soul disciple experts to a duel. What was she trying to do? Then, what made Wang Zhongshan and the rest surprised was that Bei Xianming did not come out to stop them, but stood at the side with a smile. Although Wang Zhongshan was an honest man, he was not stupid, and could tell that something was amiss. This lady knew that his cultivation was low, so why did she dare to say such words? She must have some tricks up her sleeve. There's no need for a duel, young lady. I, Wang Zhongshan, will apologize to you. Let's just forget about it, since we are all friends. Big Brother Wang. The members were unhappy. They were all geniuses that came from different places, and were usually proud and arrogant, not willing to submit to anyone, but they were especially respectful towards Wang Zhongshan. Wang Zhongshan's magnanimity and forthrightness had won them over. To see Wang Zhongshan being so humble, how could they look at him in the eyes? But Wang Zhongshan did not care. He waved his hand, indicating that they did not have to say anything. Seeing that, the lady's anger finally dissipated, her mouth raised a little, and she snorted. Hey, young Master Wang is still the sensible one. Since you have said it like that, I will not bicker with you. Tell the people in your group to pay attention. If their cultivation is low, they can rely on treasures and pills to make up for it. Strength is the most important. Have you heard of Limitless Sword God? He is an example. Su Yun. Chapter 260. Wang Zhongshan swallowed his anger, causing the two groups to not explode. The group of people once again set off, heading towards the border of Long Ao Nation. Ha 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 ha, Sister Shaoluan, you're so powerful. A bunch of spirit soul disciple fellows don't even dare to fart in front of you. Hee hee, spirit soul disciple? Their cultivation has only reached this realm. In terms of strength, they are just a bunch of trash. I can't stand that Wang Zhongshan any longer. He pretends to be a good person, but in reality, he's just a good-for-nothing. A group of guys surrounded the woman and whispered. Although they lowered their voices, there were still one or two harsh words floating out, followed by a roar of laughter. The people on Wang Zhongshan's side all turned the color of pig liver. But Bei Xianming had a smile on his face. He did not care about what was happening, as though he was watching a show. This bunch of guys will be dealt with very soon. I really won't be angry at them. The girl called Shaoluan snorted and laughed softly. Our goal this time is to participate in the selection competition for the Mountain River list. Everyone, do not be angry with them, preserve your strength, and perform well in the competition. Wang Zhongshan hurriedly said when he saw that his side was infuriated. But, Big Brother Wang, others are already bullying you. Are you still going to endure it? Why is your temper so good? Hong Yen was annoyed. Hong Yen, sometimes being angry is a form of punishment. Why do we need to lower ourselves to their level? They are just a bunch of clowns. We can just treat it as entertainment. Wang Zhongshan said. Since Wang Zhongshan had said it like that, Hong Yen opened her mouth, but did not say anything. The two teams continued to advance. However, not long after, the pungent smell of blood wafted through the air. "There's a situation," Wang Zhongshan shouted in a low voice. The two sides immediately stopped. "Let's go take a look," Wang Zhongshan said to Luo Xiaomiao. Luo Xiaomiao nodded, and rode his purple-horned beast out of the group. Bei Xianming glanced at Wang Zhongshan and called out, "Zhou Kai, you go take a look too." "Yes, young master." A bald young man with a spear on his back ran out of the group and ran forward. A moment later, the two of them rushed over, one after the other. "Brother Wang, young master Bei Xian, not good. There are so many corpses ahead." The two of them cried out. "Corpse?" Both groups were shocked. Su Yun raised his head and looked in front of him. He frowned and suddenly focused his eyes. Activating the heavenly scale divine eye, he looked forward. Under the mask, his eyes shone with gold light. His vision increased, and in a moment, he could see everything in the distance. However, 3,000 to 4,000 meters away from the team, there was a large number of corpses lying on the ground. These people's clothes were tattered, and their bodies were covered in wounds. Blood flowed all over the ground, and a large number of ferocious beasts were attracted over to feed on the corpses. Seeing their attire and the scattered weapons, they were most likely participants preparing to participate in the Mountain River List competition. But if he's a participant in the competition, his strength shouldn't be low. How could he die so tragically on the road? Spirit Soul Disciple cultivators were considered strong in their own region, but to the entire continent, they were just average people. These talented geniuses with large amounts of treasures and good materials had only entered the initial stages of the Spirit Soul Disciple realm after unremitting efforts. Although they could not be compared to the higher-ups of the sects, they were not weak. "Why are there so many corpses all of a sudden? I'm afraid there's something fishy going on," Wang Zhongshan said softly. "Zhou Kai." Just then, Bei Xianming shouted, "Young master, let me ask you, what kind of injuries do they have on their bodies? Did they die from swords or blades?" "This young master, I don't think they are from swords or blades. Many of their corpses are in pieces, and most of them look like they were bitten or claw wound." "Haha, that's right." Bei Xianming slapped his thigh and laughed. "I remember that this is the Ghost Ape Path. In this area, there are many 10th stage Spirit Core Disciple Ghost Ape groups, especially the Ghost Ape King, who is at the 1st or 2nd stage of the Spirit Soul Disciple realm. That team might have met with a group of ghost apes and died tragically at the entrance." "Is that so?" Wang Zhongshan was suspicious. "Why?" Bei Xianming frowned and laughed. "Could it be that Brother Wang is afraid? This is the path we have to take to the border. If we don't take this path, we will have to take a big detour, and we will not be able to leave Long Ao Nation until 3 to 5 months later. If you are afraid, then take a detour. 3 to 5 months later, when we seize the Mountain River List, we will host a banquet to welcome you, and let you wash away the dust." Ha 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 ha! Bei Xianming's team immediately erupted into laughter. Wang Zhongshan did not say anything again, but the few members behind could see that he was holding onto the purple-horned beast's reins tightly. It was obvious that his patience was at its limit. This might not be the doing of the ghost apes. If it was the doing of the ghost apes, you would not be able to see the corpses. Just then, a low voice came out from the back of Wang Zhongshan's team. Bei Xianming and the rest immediately stopped talking and turned to look. They saw a man wearing a white mask, looking into the distance and speaking. He was dressed in a pitch-black Blademaster cloth. His hair was pitch black and long, because of the mask covering his face. His appearance could not be seen, but the overall feeling he gave off was ordinary. Even his mask was the same. The current spirit cultivators were dressed in strange and dazzling clothing, and there were many people who wore masks. "Oh? Why can't I see the corpses?" Bei Xianming stared at Su Yun. "The ghost apes only have one goal for killing the spirit cultivators, and that is to absorb the profound spirit chi in the spirit cultivators' bodies. to replenish their physical strength and increase their cultivation. If it was really done by the ghost apes, they would bring all the corpses back to their nests, and you would only see a floor of blood, and not a corpse. You speak as if you understand it very well, brat. What cultivation are you at? A sturdy man beside Bei Xianming snorted. Our big brother Wu Yun is a third-stage spirit-soul cultivator. Watch your words. Hong Yen shouted. Ha ha, just a third-stage spirit-soul cultivator, what is that? Our Zhou Kai is a third-stage spirit-soul cultivator. And our young master Gu Xian Fei is a fourth-stage spirit-soul cultivator. You are just a third-stage spirit-soul cultivator, and you dare to be so arrogant here? Don't think too highly of yourself, the man said in disdain. He was called Shen Yujing, a third-stage spirit-soul cultivator, dressed in luxurious treasures. His strength was not ordinary. Hearing that, Hong Yen was enraged, but she did not know how to refute, and her face flushed red. Then you think they were killed by the fierce beasts? I think those wounds do not mean anything. Spirit cultivators can also cause such wounds. Su Yun looked at Hong Yen and said, no need to argue. Bei Xianming shook his head and chuckled. How did they die, and what exactly happened here? We will know once we take a look. With that, he waved his hand and led the troops to move. Wang Zhongshan and the rest were still worried, but since things had reached such a stage, their suspicions were unnecessary. They had to pass through this path, and they had to go. The group of people headed towards the path that was filled with corpses. After a moment, they arrived, but seeing that the narrow path was littered with corpses, all of the corpses had wounds, as though they were bitten by fierce beasts. Everyone dispersed the low-level fierce beasts that were eating the corpses, and started to check. There are no traces of spirit cultivators here. Almost all of them were wounds left by fierce beasts. The time of death should not exceed 3 days. A few experienced guards began to examine it. Young master, Zhou Kai shouted from the other end. What is it? I found traces of large numbers of fierce beasts nearby, Zhou Kai said. Bei Xianming's face revealed a look of delight, and said, I'm not wrong, this group of people were bitterly attacked by fierce beasts, that's why they died here. Everyone do not stay here, let's go quickly. Yes. Wang Zhongshan did not say anything. No matter how these people died, it was best to leave this place as soon as possible. Just that. Just at this moment, someone suddenly shouted, Everyone come quickly. As the voice faded away, everyone looked over and saw a member of Wang Zhongshan's team carrying a pale-faced, skinny boy as they ran over. He's still breathing. The man shouted anxiously. What? Wang Zhongshan was shocked, and immediately shouted to the guards beside him. Quick, prepare the pills, spirit doctor, who knows spirit medicine, quickly treat him. As soon as he finished speaking, the people on this side rushed over to treat the boy. Su Yun was also surprised. There was actually someone alive? He jumped down from the purple-horned beast and walked towards the boy. In terms of medical knowledge, his experience was not inferior to anyone here. Su Yun leaned over and looked at the little boy who was surrounded by a few people. He saw that the boy's skin was pale white, with many wounds on his body, and many of the wounds had started to bleed. It was extremely miserable. His eyes were tightly shut, and his qi was extremely weak, as though he did not have long to live. This little boy does not seem to have any cultivation. Oh my God, I wonder how he managed to hold on until now. His signs of life are very weak. Quick, who has spirit life qi, give him some, and stabilize his signs of life. It cannot be weakened anymore. I am. Everyone was flustered and hastily treated him. Very quickly, spirit life qi was infused, and the little boy's face became better. But it did not seem to solve the problem. We only prepared healing pills, but did not bring a spirit doctor. It was truly my miscalculation. Seeing that the boy was heavily injured, Wang Zhongshan sighed. Can I take a look? Su Yun swept his eyes and walked over to ask. Why? Does Brother Wu Yun know about medicine? I know a little. That's great, come, Brother Wu Yun, come and try. Wang Zhongshan immediately said. Su Yun nodded and walked over. The people on the other side were freed up. Su Yun raised the little boy's cold hands, felt his pulse, and imbued a bit of profound spirit qi to check. After a while, he opened his eyes, a trace of suspicion appearing in his pupils. How is it, Brother Wu Yun? Wang Zhongshan asked anxiously. Su Yun did not speak and continued to close his eyes, checking on the little boy's injuries. Suddenly, he released his hands and stood up, a strange luster flashing past his eyes. What is it, Brother Wu Yun? Can he be saved? Wang Zhongshan asked. Everyone's eyes were fixated on Su Yun. Su Yun nodded his head and said, He can be saved. With that said, Su Yun suddenly extended his hand and touched his own sword sheath. King Chong. A ray of cold light swept past, a long sword was pulled out, and directly slashed at the unconscious little boy on the big boulder. The sword aura released a fierce pure divine spirit qi and slashed forward. What? Everyone was startled. Chapter 261. Clang! The sharp sword slashed onto the rock. Crack! A sound came out. Wang Zhongshan immediately rushed over, grabbing onto Su Yun's arm. He bellowed, Wu Yun, what are you doing? Killing the spirit demons. Su Yun said indifferently and pointed to the side. Everyone's minds trembled, and all turned to look at the boy. But there was no longer the boy, there was only a rock that was split into two. Where is he? Everyone tensed up and immediately looked around. They saw the skinny and frail little boy, standing on a hill not far from them. His immature face had a sinister look, the corner of his mouth rose, and he sneered at the group of people. I thought you were all pigs. I never thought that there would actually be someone who could see through my disguise. You. Not bad at all. Who are you? Wang Zhongshan immediately understood Su Yun's actions, and anxiously gathered with everyone, and looked at the boy. So you were faking it all along. Heh, little bitch. You have guts. Tell us your name, in case we don't even know who you are when we kill you, then we will be too embarrassed. Bei Xian Ming waved his fan, smiling as he spoke. His face was not surprised at all. A group of people who do not know life from death. The little boy chuckled. Suddenly, his body cracked open, and a large amount of viscous liquid seeped out from his cracked flesh. His thin and weak body grew infinitely larger. In the blink of an eye, he had turned into a 3-meter-tall leopard with a bent body and 2 feet on the ground. His entire body was covered with barbs. Sly spirit leopard? Luo Xiaomiao exclaimed out. Sly spirit leopard? What's that? Hong Yen asked. A type of fierce beast with intelligence that surpasses humans. Su Yun stared at the sly spirit leopard on the hill and said softly, It is said that the sly spirit leopard is good at understanding human nature, they understand human speech, and can even speak human language, and are proficient in illusion techniques. In the past, there would be sly spirit leopards that would transform into humans and mix into humans to commit crimes, although they are fierce beasts, but they are closer to spirit demons, and are the targets of the spirit cultivators. I never thought that there would be one here. Looking at its cultivation, it should be around the 4th stage of the spirit soul realm. It won't be hard to deal with it. Hearing that, Hong Yen was enlightened and nodded her head. That's true, we have so many people, why would we be afraid of it? Furthermore, Big Brother Wu Yun has already seen through its scheme, it should be running away. But the problem is that it didn't escape. Su Yun held onto the engraved dragon blade and shouted, So, I am afraid it still has a backup plan, we cannot hesitate anymore. Young Master Wang, quickly kill this beast. Good. Wang Zhongshan roared, Everyone attack together, let's kill this cunning beast. Good. Everyone cheered in unison. Ha 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 ha, kill me? Looks like you guys still don't understand the situation, my delicious food. The sly spirit leopard was not afraid in the slightest. Instead, it laughed heartily and waved its paw. Immediately, a red light appeared beneath everyone's feet, and a dense blood chi appeared beneath the corpses that had fallen to the ground. Oh no, this is an array seal! How despicable! They actually used these corpses as a cover to hide the formation seal. Get out of here! Everyone was in chaos and shouted out continuously. Then, the two bodyguards who were at the front had not even rushed out of the range of the array seal, when they saw two dense blade chi flying over, directly slashing towards them. The two bodyguards immediately raised the weapons in their hands to block the blade chi. But, the first blade chi was dense and powerful, instantly destroying their weapons. The second blade chi flew over and sliced off their heads. Fresh blood spurted out, and their heads flew into the sky. The two of them died instantly. Wang Zhongshan and Bei Xianming were shocked and looked over. They saw a large number of strange-dressed fiendish-looking people rushing in. The group of people ran over noisily, with the array seal as the center. They surrounded everyone tightly. Seeing that no one thought of retreating anymore, they all took out their own treasures and weapons, and looked around cautiously. Bei Xianming's group was also standing close to Wang Zhongshan's group, and at that moment, everyone let go of their past enmity. Who are you guys? Wang Zhongshan clenched his fists and roared. Haha, a bunch of brats, I am the owner of this ghost ape passage, you brats actually dare to barge into my territory, you truly do not know what's good for you, just obediently kneel down and surrender to me, and offer up your spirit coins and treasures, that way, maybe I will spare your lives. Bandits! Wang Zhongshan and Bei Xianming looked at each other. Since when did this place have bandits? What nonsense are you spouting? Surrender to you? Pooey! If you want to fight, then fight. Why are you talking so much nonsense? You think by setting up such a small trap, I will be afraid of you? Come on. You guys go. Long Hai, who was in Wang Zhongshan's group, roared in anger. The rest of them were not to be outdone. They all roared out, with the attitude of wanting to fight to the death. The bandits only had 60 people, although there were many first and second stage spirit soul cultivators, but other than the leader who was a fourth stage spirit soul cultivator, the rest were all weak. Wang Zhongshan's two groups added up had 50 people. There was not much difference in numbers. So what was there to be afraid of? Just that what made Su Yun extremely suspicious was a group of spirit soul cultivators and spirit core cultivators. Why would they become bandits? Covet the treasures on the spirit cultivators. Were they not afraid of provoking a powerful person and being completely annihilated? Su Yun's mind was filled with suspicions, but his mind was thinking back to the ugly things that happened in the Mountain River List in his previous life. The Mountain River List competition was a gathering of heroes, and for the sake of the Mountain River List rankings, they would engage in life and death battles, and the winner would obtain the highest honor, the highest reward, and from then on, they would be able to soar through the clouds and obtain the respect of everyone, becoming a powerful person. Countless of benefits caused the young and frivolous heroes to all rush over, but there were also many who would do anything to obtain a ranking. Since the people participating in the Mountain River List were all young spirit cultivators who did not cultivate for more than 30 years, they were not invincible, and all the participants did not have any guarantees on the way to the Wenxian region. Su Yun had heard that the number of participants in the Mountain River List competition numbered in the tens of thousands, but the number of people who actually arrived was only slightly more than 10,000. It was said that many people died miserably on the way. Although the competition was fair, but if there were people who could invite powerful people, and kill all the people who might pose a threat to them on the way, wouldn't the competition be much easier? Su Yun did not know how serious the situation was in the Mountain River List, but based on his judgment, these bandits could possibly be Wang Zhongshan and Bei Xianming's enemies, and were sent to kill them. Kill? No rush. Let's wait. The leader laughed sinisterly. This array seal is prepared for all of you. It has already been activated. After an incense stick of time, the power of the array seal will completely assimilate into all of your bodies, and when it is activated, all of you will be as docile as a bunch of sheep, and at that time, it will be much easier to deal with all of you. Ha 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 ha. Wang Zhongshan's face changed. He bellowed, "Break the array!" Yes. The group of guards did not dare delay, and rushed out in unison, intending to force their way out. But just then, a large amount of energy leaked out from the array, entering everyone's body, drilling into their chi channels, disrupting the activation of their profound spirit chi, causing everyone's strength to plummet. And at the same time, the bandits outside the array also started to move. They formed a big circle, preventing the two groups from leaving. Because of the array seal's influence, the profound spirit chi in everyone's body was in a mess, and it was difficult to condense. Even if everyone's overall strength was higher than the so-called bandits, it was still difficult for them to rush out of the array. Break the array? With just you guys? Can you break it? Ha 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 ha. The bandit leader laughed out loud. Everyone, rush towards the north. If you have any treasures, don't be stingy, take them all out. Wang Zhongshan bellowed, raising both of his fists. He rushed towards the north, both of his hands releasing 13 punches, smashing onto a bandit, causing the bandit to spit out blood. His chest was split open, and with a wah sound, he fell to the ground dead. To rely on his fists to kill a 9th stage spirit core disciple, Wang Zhongshan's fist technique was truly shocking. Wang Zhongshan was so tyrannical, but no one was afraid. The strongest Luo Xiaomiao took a step forward, leaping into the air. He single-handedly dragged a small silver boat, quickly channeling qi into the boat. He then threw the boat, smashing it towards the bandit. In a blink of an eye, the boat suddenly became bigger, transforming into a gigantic silver boat, carrying an unstoppable force, directly smashing towards the bandits. Dong 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 dong. Wherever the gigantic boat passed, the bandits would either be crushed to death or sent flying. No one could stop it. But, just as the gigantic boat was about to break out of the array seal, the sly spirit leopard made its move. It roared, its body turning into the size of a small mountain, then it rushed towards the gigantic boat. Using all of its strength, it smashed into the boat, actually forcing the boat to stop. The sly spirit leopard took the opportunity to roar. A sound wave rippled out from its mouth, causing a few people who were closer to the boat to spit out blood, and were sent flying by the sound wave. Damn it! Luo Xiaomiao frowned. His eyes congealed as he stared at the sly spirit leopard. The other bandits were easy to handle, but the sly spirit leopard and the head of the bandits were troublesome to deal with. Hong Yen and Long Hai were fighting a bloody battle, but when they were fighting, they felt that they were being attacked from the front and back, and were in a passive state. Wang Zhongshan reacted and looked behind him, only to realize that Bei Xianming and the rest were actually hiding at the back, and were not fighting the bandits head-on. "Brother Bei Xian, what are you hesitating for? Quickly go!" Wang Zhongshan shouted anxiously. "They are just a bunch of jumping clowns. I believe that Brother Wang and your men are enough to handle them. We will not interfere, ha ha." Bei Xianming laughed and said, "You guys." Hong Yen was furious. In that moment of distraction, she was struck in the abdomen by one of the bandits, and flew out. Poochie! She spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. Her entire body was in pain. Just as she was about to stand up, she saw 4 or 5 bandits rushing towards her, all of them brandishing their shining blades and swords, aiming straight for her head. "I'm finished." Hong Yan's eyes widened and she muttered. But just at that moment, a black light suddenly swept out. Following that, a sword concept resonated in her ears. Before Hong Yen could even react, she saw a figure that was as fast as lightning shuttling past her, and in that moment, all the bandits rushing towards her were petrified, their bodies frozen. She raised her head to look. It was actually Wu Yun who was wearing a mask. "Big Brother Wu Yun!" Hong Yen exclaimed happily. "Are you all right?" Su Yun turned and asked. Hong Yen anxiously climbed up, swallowed a pill and said, "I'm fine. Be careful." Su Yun bit his lower lip and said, "Our enemies are not just these bandits." With that said, he swayed and rushed towards the other bandits. Not just these bandits? Hong Yan's head was filled with perspiration. Are there other enemies here? Chapter 262. With a sixth-stage spirit-soul realm cultivation, combined with the death sword, limitless sword arts and evil sword techniques, it was extremely easy to kill all of them. But if he were to do that, he was afraid that his identity would be exposed. He still had to rely on Wang Zhongshan to enter the Mountain River list, and definitely could not expose his identity. Su Yun thought. Wang Zhongshan and the others were all bathed in blood as they fought fiercely against the effects of the formation. Everyone was being attacked from the front and the back, and they were bitterly holding on. More than half of the guards had already died, and the situation was not looking good. Damn it! Wang Zhongshan gritted his teeth and suddenly took out an emerald green scroll from his storage ring and threw it into the air. Voila! The scroll broke into pieces, and specks of green light scattered in the air. Wang Zhongshan shouted loudly. Hong Yen, Luo Xiaomiao, Long Hai, Wu Yun, Shen Hao, Li Qing. One by one, names came out of Wang Zhongshan's mouth. Every time he shouted out a name, the green light would quickly enter the body of the person he called out. In a moment, the person's entire body was covered with wounds and the profound spirit qi that he had lost. His entire person looked brand new, as if nothing had happened. This scroll? The bandit leader's expression tensed up, and he was stunned. He even brought out such a good artifact. Looks like this group of food won't be easy to deal with. The sly spirit leopard roared and rushed towards Wang Zhongshan, planning to deal with him first. Wang Zhongshan's group obtained a new life, but it did not resolve the crisis. The bandits had the advantage in numbers, and Bei Xianming was watching from the side, causing Wang Zhongshan and the rest to be in a passive state. Brother Bei Xian, what exactly do you want to do? If we don't deal with them now, neither of us will have a good ending. Once they get rid of us, they won't let you off either. Quick, help us! Wang Zhongshan had no choice but to shout at him again. At this time, as long as Bei Xianming made his move and worked together, there was hope for them to break through. Hearing that, Bei Xianming looked over. His mouth suddenly curved. He waved his fan and laughed. All right, since Brother Wang has already said that, if I were to continue watching, it would be too inhumane. He waved his hand and said calmly, Go and support Brother Wang. Yes, young master. Everyone nodded and rushed over in unison. Great. Seeing this, Wang Zhongshan was overjoyed and roared. Everyone attack together. Kill that devious spirit leopard and the leader first. Kill. Everyone's fighting spirit was reignited. With Bei Xianming making a move, he would definitely be able to decide the outcome of the battle. At that moment, everyone had a new view of Bei Xianming. However, Puqi. Just as Wang Zhongshan's fighting spirit was ignited and he was about to counterattack, a knife suddenly pierced through his lower abdomen. Wang Zhongshan's body twitched and his face turned deathly pale. He opened his eyes wide, turned his head to look, only to see Bei Xianming's bodyguard captain holding onto the tiger blade, looking at him coldly. You, what are you doing? Wang Zhongshan stared blankly and was instantly enraged. He endured the pain in his abdomen and kicked the guard captain. Bang! The guard captain was sent flying, but Wang Zhongshan's injuries worsened. He clenched his teeth and pulled out the knife from his abdomen. He retreated and spat out a large amount of blood. He almost fell to the ground. Big Brother Wang! The team members shouted. But at this moment, Puqi even more people were ambushed. The Bei Xian people who were prepared to help Wang Zhongshan fight against the bandits, when they got close to Wang Zhongshan's team members, without hesitation, they raised their knives at them. Those who were quick to react managed to dodge the fatal blow, but they were still injured. and for Long Hai, who was defenseless, he was killed on the spot by the sneak attack. In that short period of time, Wang Zhongshan's team was completely crippled. Of course, other than Su Yun. Bada. A strong and vigorous hand grabbed onto the thick blade that was slashing towards his head from behind. The guard holding onto the blade was startled. He wanted to retract his blade, but the blade seemed to be stuck to the man's body and was unable to move at all. The masked man slowly turned around and stared at the guard with a pair of ice-cold eyes. "Brother Wang, are you all right, Brother Wang?" Hong Yen and the rest endured their injuries and ran over, supporting Wang Zhongshan, who was on the ground. They anxiously asked, "Why is it like this? Why is it like this?" The young man called Shun Hao looked around, his entire body trembling, as though he had lost his sense of propriety. At that moment, Wang Zhongshan's team seemed to have received a devastating blow. Wang Zhongshan swallowed the pill that Luo Xiaomiao had given him. He recovered a little, enduring the heart-wrenching pain in his abdomen. He clenched his teeth and spoke to Bei Xianming. "Bei Xianming, you actually sneak attacked us. You are so despicable. What exactly are you doing?" "What am I doing? Naturally I am doing what I want to do." Bei Xianming waved his fan and walked over, his face sinister. "Wang Zhongshan, I have long wanted to take care of you, and now that I have the chance, why wouldn't I do it?" "Take care of me? Now that we are facing enemies, you actually point your spear at me. Aren't you afraid that we will perish together?" Wang Zhongshan was enraged. His pale white face was flushed red with anger. Just that, Bei Xianming did not care. He laughed coldly and snorted. "Just a bunch of clowns, you think I can't take care of them? Xiao Luan, didn't they look down on you just now? Let them see for themselves just how strong a ninth-stage spirit core disciple like you is." With that said, the lady riding on the 7 Qilin beasts revealed a complacent smile. She looked at Wang Zhongshan's group in disdain, and then walked over. Raising her pure white hands, she took out a bright red pearl from somewhere, wrapped it with profound spirit qi, and then placed it in her mouth. So! In that instant, 2 blood-red lotus patterns appeared on the woman's cheek. With the appearance of the lotus patterns, the woman's aura suddenly began to change. The lotus patterns on her cheeks began to emit a large amount of light. The light quickly spread to her body and covered her body, forming a tight-fitting armor of light. The woman called Xiao Luan was like a valkyrie at that moment, and her aura was incomparably terrifying. She took a deep breath, raised her hand, and a slender light blade appeared in her palm. So. The woman moved. She was like a flower of light shuttling through the crowd. The blade of light slashed horizontally, and a terrifying aura erupted from the blade. In an instant, those lowly bandits were chopped into pieces. No matter how strong their cultivation was, they couldn't withstand this blade. Terrifying. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. After slashing Bei Xianming's bodyguard to the ground, Su Yun stared at the lady who was crazily slaughtering. "What treasure is that? Her qi is so astonishing, I'm afraid her cultivation is already at the 5th stage of the spirit-soul realm." When the lady entered the battlefield, she seemed to be invincible. Anyone who fought with her could not last more than 2 rounds. Her speed was too fast, causing people to be unable to catch up. Adding the dazzling light, the people who fought with her were unable to see her, and their attacks were all slowed down. Seeing that the person was so fierce, the bandit leader clenched his teeth and rushed forward, fighting with her. The lady raised her light blade and swung her arm, releasing over 1,000 blade images. Like a flower, they flew towards the bandit leader. Dauntless Earth Slash. The bandit leader, who was also equipped with a blade, waved his blade, causing the blade image to expand infinitely, becoming a few meters long, fiercely slashing down. However, before the saber shadow could land on the ground, it was shattered by the saber shadow of the saber of light. The strange saber of light landed on the broad saber in a domineering manner, and a tidal wave of power flowed through the saber into the bandit leader's body. The bandit leader trembled like a sieve, and he opened his mouth to spit out a mouthful of blood. He had actually been injured by the force of the saber. "Stop playing. Quickly finish them off." Bei Xianming seemed to be getting impatient and said, "All right, young master, Sai, I still want to play with them." The third stage Spirit Soul Realm cultivator called Shen Yujing yawned, with a lazy look. He took out a two-handed sledgehammer from his storage ring and walked towards the bandit leader. His footsteps were slow, but when he got close to the bandit leader, he suddenly increased his speed, like a motor that suddenly sped up. He raised the sledgehammer high up, instigating the terrifying true divine spirit chi, fiercely smashing down. The bandit leader's face changed. He immediately retreated, but he was not able to dodge in time. The sledgehammer landed in front of him, the chi on it exploding like sparks, splashing out in all directions, directly smashing onto his body, causing him to fly. The bandit leader spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood, fiercely falling to the ground. His face was frighteningly pale. He was already out of breath, not far from death. The ground trembled from Shen Yujing's attack, as though it was a magnitude 7 earthquake. Before the bandit leader could even crawl up, a light aura swept past his eyes. Following that, a light blade fiercely fell down, slashing his head. Pucci. The head was chopped off. The bandit leader was dead. Wang Zhongshan and the rest were all stunned. No wonder that woman would say such words, so she actually has such a powerful treasure. In the blink of an eye, a 9th stage spirit core cultivator transformed to a 5th stage spirit soul cultivator. What kind of treasure is that? It actually has such a mystical might. That should at least be a top-grade treasure. Luo Xiaomiao held onto his shoulder and said weakly, "Brother Wang, what do we do now? Everyone is injured, we can't fight them, and it will be difficult to leave. If this continues, I'm afraid we will all lose our lives." Hong Yen bit her lips and said in pain. Long Hai and the rest's corpses were not far away. Everyone was already panicking. Who would have thought that their friends who were together a second ago would suddenly become enemies who would stab them in the back? "All of you, don't panic." Wang Zhongshan took a deep breath and said calmly, "I know what Bei Xianming wants to do. It is nothing more than taking revenge on me for going against him in the past, and the person he wants to deal with is me. In a while, I will give him an explanation, and let all of you go. All of you have no grievances with him. I believe he will not kill all of you. Brother Wang, all of you don't need to say anything. I have implicated all of you this time. I will ensure that all of you are safe." Wang Zhongshan slowly closed his eyes. At that moment, regardless of whether it was the guards or the members that followed him, they were all dead set on him. With the bandit leader dead, how could the remaining people fight against Bei Xianming's team? Seeing that the situation was bad, the sly spirit leopard wanted to escape, but was chased by the Valkyrie and killed it. The remaining bandits could not hold on for long and were all killed. Even though the array seals beneath their feet were still activated, but the disparity in strength between the two parties was too great. Bei Xianming's people did not have much of an advantage in terms of cultivation, but every single treasure that they activated was extremely powerful, causing people to be speechless. The blood from the corpses converged into a small stream, flowing past Wang Zhongshan and the rest. He looked over, only to see that Bei Xianming's team had not started to clean up the battlefield, but were all looking away. Voila! Bei Xianming once again opened his fan, gently waving it. He smiled and looked over, a trace of ridicule flashing past his eyes. Chapter 263. Fresh blood, cold corpses, the desolated land. It formed a strange and bizarre scene. Wang Zhongshan, Hong Yen, Luo Xiaomiao and the rest were gathered together, adding the 7 guards who had not died. Wang Zhongshan's team only had 15 people left. As for Bei Xianming's side, there were no casualties. Whoosh! Valkyrie Qi Shaoluan removed the light armor on her body and returned to her original appearance. She opened her mouth and took out the red pearl and placed it into her storage ring, then stood at the side and looked at Wang Zhongshan and the rest in ridicule. Ayaya, Brother Wang, what's wrong with you? Why is your face so ugly? Didn't you want me to help you guys? Look around, there are bandits' corpses everywhere, not a single one is left. I have already done as you said, so what? Are you satisfied? Bei Xianming waved his fan, his mouth curling into a smile. Bei Xianming, I know you want to deal with me, but if you have any unhappiness, come at me. They just want to participate in the Mountain River list. Let them go, you can do whatever you want with me. Wang Zhongshan roared. Brother Wang, the members of the Wang family secretly wiped their tears. Ha ha ha, no rush, Brother Wang. We still have a lot of debts between us. Let us slowly settle it. Bei Xianming laughed out loud, then looked at the few people behind Wang Zhongshan and chuckled. Xiao Luan, weren't you angry just now? Have you calmed down yet? If you haven't, you can go now. Of course I haven't, who am I? I was actually humiliated by a bunch of trash. How can I let it go? Qi Xiaoluan snorted, her eyes becoming sinister. Her gaze landed on Wang Zhongshan's body, and then shifted to Hong Yan who was behind. Just now, the ones who were the fiercest against me were you and Long Hai, right? A pity Long Hai is already dead then, only you are left. This miss has grown up so big, but I have never met someone as hateful as you. Wait for me to tear your mouth apart, let's see how you are going to talk back to me. Qi Xiaoluan sneered and walked towards Hong Yan. What are you doing? Hong Yan's face was pale white, her eyes revealing traces of shock as she stared at Qi Xiaoluan. What are you doing? I will let you experience the power of a 9th stage Spirit Core disciple. Aren't you a Spirit Soul disciple expert? Quickly stand up and fight with me. Ha 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 ha. A sharp laughter rang out, making one's hair stand on end. Hong Yan was currently heavily injured, and had no strength to fight. How could she fight against Qi Xiaoluan? The woman's complacency made Wang Zhongshan extremely angry. He roared, I dare you to touch Hong Yan. Do you think I wouldn't dare? Qi Xiaoluan squinted her eyes and laughed. Then I'll give it a try. With that said, Qi Xiaoluan immediately raised her hand and rushed towards Hong Yan, directly attacking her chest. Stop! Wang Zhongshan shouted anxiously. He actually used his weak body to rush forward, one hand forming a fist. He punched towards Qi Xiaoluan. But before he could even get close to Qi Xiaoluan, Shen Yujing had already rushed over and kicked Wang Zhongshan's head. Wang Zhongshan's body spun a few times in the air before heavily falling to the ground, unable to get up again. Big Brother Wang! Hong Yan cried out in pain. When she looked at Qi Xiaoluan again, her eyes were filled with determination. She clenched her teeth and shouted, Bitch! I'll fight it out with you. Fight? Hell with just you. You overestimate yourself. Qi Xiaoluan was not afraid at all. Hong Yan was just a first-stage spirit soul cultivator, and was already heavily injured. What could she use to fight against Qi Xiaoluan? This move, even if it did not take Hong Yan's life, it would at least heavily injure her. But, just as Qi Xiaoluan was about to get close to Hong Yan, a vigorous and powerful hand suddenly extended out from the side, directly grabbing onto her wrist. Qi Xiaoluan's attack suddenly stopped. Qi Xiaoluan was startled. She turned to look, only to see a masked man dressed in black Blade Master clothes standing beside her. Let's stop, he said. Who are you? Qi Xiaoluan asked angrily. She wanted to pull her hand back, but realized that the opponent's hand was like a pincer. The strength was terrifying, and she could not pull it back at all. There's still one standing? Interesting. Yu Jing, make him kneel down and speak. Bei Xianming gently waved his fan and laughed. This brat? Humph, I have long found him an eyesore, wearing a mask and acting all mysterious. Watch me. Shen Yujing held onto the sledgehammer tightly, spitting out saliva, activating his true divine spirit qi. With a growl, he rushed towards Su Yun, the terrifying sledgehammer smashing towards his head. With this move, he did not hold back at all. The sledgehammer smashed down, the imposing manner was terrifying. Su Yun's eyes congealed, he was no longer courteous. He casually flung Qi Shaoluan's arm away, following that with a shake of his hand. The engraved dragon blade dodged, forming a sword flower in his hand, and thrusted towards Shen Yujing. The sword concept enveloped Shen Yujing in a breath. The sudden killing intent caused Shen Yujing's back to turn cold, his eyes widened, and he anxiously switched to a defensive stance. But at that moment, Su Yun already had the intention to kill. When the sharp sword was about to be blocked by Shen Yujing's sledgehammer, Su Yun suddenly swung it. The engraved dragon blade spun out, his hands grabbing onto the sledgehammer. He raised his leg and fiercely kicked Shen Yujing. Boom! Shen Yujing's abdomen was kicked. The tyrannical power caused his body to tremble. He retreated a few steps and fell down. But before he even fell to the ground, the spinning engraved dragon blade actually flew in an arc trajectory, circling around Shen Yujing's back, the ice-cold sword tip slashing towards Shen Yujing's neck from behind. Not good. Seeing that, Bei Xianming's face changed. Yujing, be careful. Zhou Kai immediately rushed over, wanting to stop the strange sword, but how could his speed be faster than the sword? He could not make it in time. Shen Yujing finally sensed the silent killing intent behind him. He did not have the time to turn his head, but the cold intent on the sword was like a needle piercing into his neck, stimulating the flesh on his neck. Ah! Divine might of Wu Tai! Shen Yujing suddenly roared, his face flushed red, a pale white spirit qi surging out from his body. At that moment, Shen Yujing's body was amplified. Qi. The engraved dragon blade slashed onto Shen Yujing's neck, but it only cut into the surface, causing blood to spurt out, but it did not chop off his head. Shen Yujing took the attack, and immediately fell to the ground, losing his fighting ability in a moment. Sigh! Sounds of people taking in cold breaths came out from all around. How is that possible? Bei Xianming's eyes were wide open. Bada. Su Yun extended his hand out to catch the engraved dragon blade. The sword tip slanted to the ground, and walked towards Shen Yujing step by step. His killing intent sword, Shen Yujing, who was holding onto his neck, was pale white, staring at the man with his terrifying eyes. Why you don't come over, don't come over! He screamed in fear. Stop! Zhou Kai and the rest rushed over, all of them attacking Su Yun. Storm sword technique. The Qi's trajectory pervaded out, revolving around his body, then he gently released his palm, causing the engraved dragon blade to fly out again, quickly revolving around his body, quickly shuttling back and forth. Sword images appeared. The exquisite and strange sword concept was like a terrifying beast's mouth, swallowing all of them. A few of the members with lower cultivation could not dodge in time, and were directly pierced through their hearts by the Qi's trajectory. Following that, the engraved dragon blade followed the trajectory and pierced through. Zhou Kai's reaction was more agile, sensing that something was wrong. He immediately turned his body, dodging the trajectory, and stabbed his spear towards Su Yun. But Su Yun's speed was even faster. He slightly tilted his body, dodging the spear, and extended his hand out, using his finger to touch the spear tip. Dang wung wung wung, the spear body trembled. Zhou Kai's hands were swaying, and he almost let go. He anxiously activated his true divine spirit qi, stabilizing the spear, and only after a while did he grab hold of it. What a powerful force! Zhou Kai was shocked. But in the next second, Su Yun extended his leg out, and kicked Zhou Kai's abdomen, causing Zhou Kai to fly out, smashing onto a large boulder not far away. Before he could even catch his breath, his eyes rolled back and he fainted. Impossible! Who exactly are you? Bei Xianming's people roared out, their eyes filled with shock and fear. Zhou Kai was a third-stage spirit-soul cultivator. To be able to make a third-stage spirit-soul cultivator faint with one kick, how much power did that require? But everyone only knew that Zhou Kai was a third-stage spirit-soul cultivator, but did not know that Su Yun was a sixth-stage spirit-soul cultivator. Adding the true divine spirit chi bestowed by the monarch occult force, Su Yun's strength was equally shocking. The group of people had suffered a huge loss. How could they dare to continue? They anxiously retreated, and maintained a distance from Su Yun. In the next moment, the situation took a turn for the better. As for Wang Zhongshan's people, all of them were dumbstruck, staring at Su Yun in shock. "Brother, you have good cultivation. Powerful. Powerful." Bei Xianming knew that Su Yun was not an ordinary person. He looked at his own people, then kept his fan and clapped his hands. "Stop it. Even if you have any grudges with Wang Zhongshan, you should not be so ruthless," Su Yun said. He wanted to protect Wang Zhongshan, as only Wang Zhongshan could bring him to participate in the Mountain River List competition. Although the people in front of him had lower cultivation than him, they had the numbers, and their strength was not weak. Without exposing the evil spirit chi and the techniques of the limitless sword arts, for Su Yun to take care of all of them, it was slightly strenuous. Left with no choice, he was not willing to kill them all. "Wang Zhongshan has always been going against me in Sky Dragon City. His prestige is extremely high, the hearts of the people are in his favor, and he has a large number of spirit cultivators supporting him. I cannot touch him, but outside of Sky Dragon City, it is different. If I do not kill Wang Zhongshan to vent the hatred in my heart, then when will I wait? Furthermore, with this, we will have fewer opponents in the Mountain River List competition. This is beneficial to us. Why should we let them go?" Bei Xianming waved his fan and laughed. "You! Despicable Bei Xianming! Could it be that you purposely waited for me outside the city?" Wang Zhongshan shouted weakly. "Haha, of course we had planned it long ago. We initially planned to walk a little further, and wait for you to relax your guard before taking action, but who knew that along the way, a group of bandits who do not know life or death would appear, and can be considered to have helped us a little. All of you were busy dealing with the bandits, and were not vigilant towards us, and were also exhausted by the bandits, so it was the best time to take action. Even the heavens are helping me." "Asshole!" Hong Yen was furious. Bei Xianming did not feel that his actions were shameful, but instead laughed without a care. "Since I, Bei Xianming, dares to do it, then I dare to admit it. Today, Wang Zhongshan must die. This, brother, I know that you chose to stand on Wang Zhongshan's side, and that is because Wang Zhongshan wants to bring you to participate in the Mountain River List selection competition. You should know, the one who has the qualifications to bring you to participate is not only Wang Zhongshan. I, Bei Xianming, can do it too. Why don't you join my group, and follow us to Qin Creek? How about that?" "Wang Zhongshan? They are people who are about to die. Why do you care?" With that said, Wang Zhongshan and the rest all looked at Su Yun anxiously. Without question, Su Yun was powerful, and from how he easily defeated Zhou Kai, Shen Yujing and the rest, it could be seen. He was the last hope of the group. Maybe he could save them, but if he was persuaded by Bei Xianming, then Wang Zhongshan and the rest would only have one ending: death. The entire place was silent, even Su Yun was silent. Chapter 264. So from the peak of the pure white mountain, a large amount of snow light rushed out, the goose feather like snow revolving quickly around the snow light, transforming into a tornado, striking the gigantic ice boulders in the distance. Crack! The thick ice boulders shattered into pieces, flying everywhere, and the sharp swift wind spirit chi started to ripple. A lady dressed in goose feather clothes put down the ice-like sword in her hand. Looking at the direction where the ice was shattered, she sighed lightly. Her delicate little face was filled with sorrow. Good. Ming, I never thought that you would already be at the 6th stage of the spirit-soul realm. That's great." Just then, an ecstatic voice came out from the mountain path behind them. The lady was startled. She turned to look, to see a middle-aged lady dressed in luxurious clothing walking over. "Master! The woman bowed to him. The lady walked over quickly, holding on to the lady's hand. She sized her up and nodded her head. Do you know? You are the most talented person I have ever seen. Ever since our Snow Jade Palace was established, no one has been able to surpass you in terms of talent. Master is overpraising me. For to have such a cultivation, it is all because of Master's guidance. Sigh, you are too humble, you have only been in my Snow Jade Palace for a short period of time. For you to be where you are today, it is all because of your own hard work. The lady's eyes wavered, and suddenly asked, the Jade Divine Arts that I passed down to you, how many levels have you cultivated to? Is stupid. I am currently only at the 5th level. 5th level? Not bad, not bad. The lady patted the lady's hand and nodded her head. Wait for the Mountain River List competition to end. I will give you a surprise. Surprise? The lady was suspicious. Let me keep you in suspense for now, all right, let's go. The time has come. You all should set off for Cheen Creek. The people from the Ink Blade Pavilion are already here. You should prepare and follow them. Why is the Ink Saber Pavilion traveling with them? The lady was in a difficult position. After hesitating for a while, she said, although our Snow Jade Palace was established earlier, but because of our ancestors' rule, the Snow Jade Palace only accepts females, so our sex strength is weak, and it is hard for us to develop further. But the Ink Blade Pavilion is different. It is a famous sect in the northern continent. The Ink Blade Pavilion has many experts. Their strength is strong. Their disciples are spread all over the Sky Martial continent. No matter where they are respected. Have I ever told you about the enmity between our Snow Jade Palace and Flameheart Valley? Master never mentioned it. Sigh, actually this is not something good to hear. You only need to know that the current Flameheart Valley's Valley Master's foster father was killed by my Snow Jade Palace's previous palace master. Flameheart Valley and my Snow Jade Palace are already mortal enemies. Do you understand? So what? What do you think? These few years, Flameheart Valley has quietened down, so you have less contact with them. Ever since the two sects broke off, they would fight a few times every year, both in the open and in the dark, never stopping, and the current Valley Master of Flameheart Valley also wants to eradicate our Snow Jade Palace. Our Snow Jade Palace's position is remote, lacking in resources, adding that our sect is made up of females. How can we fight against Flameheart Valley? So we can only rely on a strong sect, to be able to safely develop and survive. At least, we cannot let the Snow Jade Palace be destroyed in our hands. The lady said seriously. Hearing that, the lady lowered her head and nodded. Understands. The person that the Ink Blade Pavilion sent this time is called Lu Shishan. He is the youngest disciple of the Ink Blade Pavilion, and is also the direct disciple of the Ink Blade Pavilion Great Clan Elder. His position is high. I can see that ever since the last time he saw you, he could not forget about you, and probably has the intention of finding you to be his dual cultivation companion. Go and interact with him, do not offend him, and build a good foundation for the relationship between our Snow Jade Palace and Ink Blade Pavilion in the future. Do you understand? This. Master, didn't you say that our Snow Jade Palace people cannot find dual cultivation companions? Why is this? Rules can be broken. Our ancestor was hurt by love. That's why we set the rules. Now that you are thinking for the future of our Snow Jade Palace, why do you still care about the rules? But, quickly go, don't disappoint your master. The lady did not seem to care about the lady's feelings, and said forcefully. Seeing the lady's serious and hopeful eyes, the lady opened her mouth, but in the end she did not say what she was thinking. Immortal Sword Sect. Inside the majestic and mystical floating palace, a blue figure flew in. And inside the exquisite and elegant palace, sat a fairy-like person. She was wearing a plain white gauze dress, and was sitting in front of a huge bronze mirror. Her palm-sized oval face was haggard, and her gem-like eyes stared at the mirror without any expression. Her red lips were slightly pursed, and her expression was somewhat dull. The lustrous sword was casually placed on the ground. Everything looked extremely strange. Tang Tian looked at Long Xianli, who was sitting in front of the bronze mirror, sighed helplessly, and walked over. Clan Elder Long? Who? She regained her senses, opened her dim eyes, looked towards the direction of the voice, and upon seeing the person, she immediately stood up and gracefully bowed. Xianli greets second clan elder. Even so, every movement she made seemed weak and powerless. Don't be so polite. Tang Tian shook his head. I am very curious, Clan Elder Long, what exactly happened to make you like this? You have changed too much in the past few years. This is not the pavilion master of Martial Sword Pavilion, not the Long Xianli that I know. Clan Elder Long, what exactly happened, can't you tell me? Tell me? Long Xianli muttered. What's the use of telling me? It's just my own business. Sigh. Tang Tian sighed helplessly after thinking. He said, Since it's like this, I will not meddle any more. Clan Elder Long here, I will seriously ask you, is that all right? What does Clan Elder Tang want to ask? Do you still think that you are from a mortal sword sect? Clan Elder Tang, what are you saying? Long Xianli lowered her eyes. If Xianli is not from a mortal sword sect, who else can I be? That's good. Tang Tian nodded his head and said, Since it's like this then, the mission that the sect has assigned to you, you should not reject it. In the past few years, you have always used all sorts of reasons to reject the sect's missions, and stayed in the palace all day, not even taking half a step out. If you were training, it would be fine, but you are always in a daze. Clan Elder Long, this is not what we want to see, so this time, you have to go and complete the mission. Hearing that, Long Xianli bit her lips, thought for a moment, then stood up gracefully, her long hair gently swaying, her bright eyes slightly opened. Clan Elder Tang, if you have any instructions, just say it, Xianli will definitely complete it. Good. Clan Elder Long, I knew it, you will not disappoint us. Tang Tian nodded his head and laughed. It is not a very important mission, this time. The Mountain River List competition is about to begin. Our Immortal Sword sect has already chosen our disciples to participate in the competition. Clan Elder Long, as the elder in charge, you will lead the disciples to Chin Creek, treat it as a way to relax, going to the north for a walk, it will be better for you. The silence at the entrance was frightening, the blood stench in the air was still very dense, but at that moment, a light drizzle started to fall from the gloomy sky, washing away the nauseating stench. Wang Zhongshan and the rest were still anxiously looking at the people at the side. All of them were holding their breaths and concentrating on Su Yun. Big brother Wu Yun, Hong Yan opened her mouth, but did not know what to say. Bei Xianming was already laughing. In terms of fighting strength, they were not inferior to Su Yun. Su Yun most likely had to join them, if not, if they fought, Su Yun might not have a chance of winning. Of course, that was what the people in Bei Xianming's group were thinking. Their initial judgment was that Su Yun was only a 5th or 6th stage spirit soul realm existence. As for the 7th stage, it was definitely impossible, in a short 30 years of time, even with the support of treasures, coupled with top-quality equipment, he would definitely not be able to reach the 7th stage. But Bei Xianming and the rest had neglected one thing. There was nothing absolute in the world. Under the same circumstances, although talent and treasures were important factors in determining one's cultivation, but other than that, there was another important factor. That was opportunity. For Su Yun to be able to reach such a stage, opportunity was a huge factor. Your group. Su Yun looked at Bei Xianming, the corner of his mouth under his mask suddenly raised, and he chuckled. I do not dare to join. What if you guys stab me in the back, then wouldn't I not even know how I died? Bei Xianming's smile immediately froze. Brat, letting you guys stop, is giving you guys a chance, if not, I don't mind killing you here. Su Yun casually threw the engraved dragon blade, and in that moment, The engraved dragon blade soared into the sky, it spun out tens of thousands of sword images, its imposing manner was extremely terrifying. Imperial sword technique? You're from the immortal sword sect? Gu Xian Fei's face changed, and he blurted out. So you're from the Imperial sword sect. No wonder you have such strength. Qi Shaoluan and the rest's expressions congealed, they did not dare to step forward. Bei Xianming was also surprised. He never thought that the brat wearing the mask would have such a background. Young master, let's not persevere. This person's strength is not ordinary. Once we take action, if we cannot kill him here, and let him escape, then we will offend the Immortal Sword Sect. The Immortal Sword Sect has many experts, it is not something we can fight against. I'm afraid the Beixian family, the people by the side advised. Enough. Not waiting for the people by the side to finish, Bei Xianming snorted and said coldly, I know what to do. Saying that, he raised his hand and cupped his hands towards Su Yun and said, I wonder what is this brother's name? Wu Yun. Good name, since you said it like that, then I will leave Wang Zhongshan's dog life, but I will say it first, since they are preparing to participate in the Mountain River List competition, then I have to remind them, I hope that they can return to Sky Dragon City alive. With that said, Bei Xianming waved his hand and said indifferently, Let's go. With that, the group of people left. Seeing that, Wang Zhongshan and the rest heaved a sigh of relief. Chapter 265. If he went all out, Su Yun would be able to easily make Bei Xianming and the rest stay, but the purpose of him heading north was not to kill Bei Xianming, but to participate in the competition. If he went all out, it would be hard to conceal his evil spirit qi, and once he exposed his evil qi, they would definitely think that he was an evil realm being. At that time, whether Wang Zhongshan would bring him to participate in the competition would be a problem, so to save trouble, he only scared Bei Xianming and the rest away, and that was enough. Are you guys alright? Su Yun turned and looked at Wang Zhongshan and the rest. Brother Wang's injuries are more serious. Let's treat Brother Wang's injuries first. Hong Yen said with tears in her eyes. Su Yun nodded and walked over. He helped Wang Zhongshan, who was lying on the ground with his abdomen wound, up and imbued qi into his body. An emerald green light aura appeared in Su Yun's palm. Vigorous life force gradually rose within Wang Zhongshan's body, nourishing the damaged parts. Spirit life qi? Wang Zhongshan suddenly opened his eyes wide. He tried his best to look at Su Yun, his eyes filled with disbelief. You seem to be using Swift Wind Spirit Qi, right? Why does it still have Spirit Life Qi? What's so strange about that? Su Yun laughed. Although there aren't many people who have two types of Qi, there are still some, right? Wang Zhongshan thought about it and nodded. That's true. But Big Brother Wu Yun actually has two different attributes of Spirit Qi, and his cultivation is so strong. Big Brother Wu Yun, I don't think you can truly enter the top 20 of the Mountain River list. Hong Yen said happily from behind. Yeah. I never thought that we would be accompanied by an expert like you. If not for Big Brother Wu Yun, I'm afraid we would all have died here. Luo Xiaomiao couldn't help but ask. Although his cultivation was the highest here, he wasn't proud of it. Those people who looked down on Su Yun previously had long since abandoned all their previous opinions and started to surround Su Yun to talk. Disregarding everything else, Su Yun was willing to stand by Wang Zhongshan's side at the last moment. Just this point alone was enough to show his character. How could such a person not deserve respect? Several hours later, Su Yun stopped his spirit life qi, stopped his hands, looked at the haggard Wang Zhongshan, and shook his head. Zhongshan, your injuries are not looking good. Although I have temporarily stabilized your injuries, but to recover, it will take a day or two. I am afraid that you will not be able to participate in the Mountain River list. Damn it! Wang Zhongshan clenched his fist and fiercely pounded the ground. However, just as he did this, his lower abdomen started to hurt again. He hurriedly covered his lower abdomen as beads of sweat started to drip down his forehead. In this situation, it's better to return to Heavenly Dragon City to recuperate, Big Brother Wong. Otherwise, once your injuries relapse, I'm afraid it'll be even more serious. Luo Xiaomiao frowned. If it was an ordinary person, they would have died a long time ago. Big Brother Wong, you should return to Heavenly Dragon City to recuperate. Let your guards escort you back, another person advised. However, before they could finish their words, Wang Zhongshan raised his hand and weakly said, "You don't have to say any more. I won't go back." "Why?" Hong Yen asked anxiously. Wang Zhongshan shook his head. "I am the official participant. If I don't go, no one will recommend me, and none of you will be able to participate in the Mountain River List selection competition. If that's the case, wouldn't I be letting all of you down? So I have to go. As long as I am still breathing, I will not disappoint all of you." "But Big Brother Wang, what are these injuries? From here to Chin Creek, there is still a long way to go, so I will circulate my martial arts to heal and recover. Who knows, when I reach Chin Creek, my injuries will be healed. Haha, to be honest, I still want to participate in the Mountain River List competition." As he spoke, Wang Zhongshan's eyes flickered. This man had been betrayed, and even when he was heavily injured, he did not shed a tear, but at that moment, he could no longer hold it in. No one could understand his feelings, but everyone knew that if Wang Zhongshan did not participate in the Mountain River List competition, then he would not have the chance. He had cultivated for more than 30 years, and if he did not fight now, there would be no future. Then go. Just as everyone wanted to persuade Wang Zhongshan, Su Yun, who was wearing a mask, suddenly spoke out. Everyone looked over in unison, but Su Yun only said that sentence, then turned around and did not say another word. Inside the dark and dilapidated palace, a few strands of green spirit chi floated in the air. Two sinister and terrifying spirit demon statues stood at the left and right sides of the palace. A lady dressed in green stood quietly in front of the palace. She looked at the statues, her eyes gradually falling into a daze. Creak. Clear and melodious footsteps came out from outside the palace. Very quickly, a handsome man dressed in a blue and white porcelain robe walked in. The man walked in. His long and narrow eyes looked at the lady in the palace, revealing a strange smile. "Greetings, Your Highness." The man knelt down on one knee and cupped his fists. "Stand up," the lady in green said casually. "Thank you, Your Highness." The man stood up, then cupped his fists and bowed. "I wonder what instructions does Your Highness have for me to come down?" "Nothing important. I just wanted to ask, how are your preparations going? When are you heading to Chin Creek?" "We are leaving today. Everything is prepared," the man said. "Today? That's fast enough." The lady in green muttered to herself, then waved her hand. Behind her, a dense spirit demon chi immediately rose. "I believe that there shouldn't be any mishaps in cooperating with young Master Xue this time. However, for the sake of safety, I will still send another person to help you. That way you can be more at ease. This operation absolutely cannot fail again." With that said, the dense spirit demon chi slowly revealed a slender female figure. The man raised his handsome face and looked towards the direction of the spirit demon chi in confusion, only to see that the person had already walked out. It was a woman with short hair and a slightly chubby appearance. She was dressed in brown clothes. Her eyes were filled with a trace of a smile as she slowly walked out and looked at the man below with a playful look. "Su Yurong?" When he saw who it was, the man immediately frowned. TSK, I never thought that, young master, you are also a spirit demon Dao person? This is too surprising." Su Yurong laughed. "I am not a spirit demon Dao person." The man shook his head, but he did not say much. Instead, he asked the lady in green, "Isn't Su Yurong already dead? Why is she here?" "She is indeed dead. But before Su Yurong died, she was already in contact with me. To prevent her from betraying me, I took away part of her soul. After she died, I got someone to take away her body. Using this part of her soul and soul as a medium, I used spirit demon techniques to revive her. No wonder Su Yurong's body mysteriously disappeared, the man said. Suddenly, he thought of something and asked, "That means Su Yurong's replenishing technique was taught by you?" "That's right," the lady in green said indifferently. "She was originally my person, but now that she has recovered, I will send her to help you. Her strength is not the same as before. I believe there will not be any mistakes in this mission. Don't disappoint me." The man hesitated for a while. His expression did not change. He cupped his fists and bowed. "Yes, Your Highness. Go." The winding mountain path was like a coiled snake that landed in the middle of the mountain. A row of purple horned beasts ran quickly on the mountain path, causing the ground to tremble. Su Yun stared ahead and walked at the front. Wang Zhongshan was surrounded by everyone. He leaned on the back of the purple horned beast and gently used qi. It was just that the journey was bumpy, adding that he was injured. Wang Zhongshan's qi was intermittent, and it was hard to accumulate. In front of us is the Mountain Moon Pass. As long as we get out of the pass, we will leave the borders of Long Ao Nation. At that time, we will be considered to have entered the northern continent. Luo Xiaomiao looked around and said, "Are we going to be out soon?" Wang Zhongshan opened his eyes and said weakly, "Everyone be careful. Although Bei Xianming has left, they are still going to Qin Creek. We have to be careful. If we meet them again, we have to be on guard. I am afraid they will not let us go. How did we offend them? They are truly a group of despicable fellows." Hong Yen said angrily. "Offend? As long as we offend them, we will offend them. We are all participants participating in the Mountain River list. If they get rid of us, then they will have one less competitor, and at that time, they will be able to take a step up in the regional rankings." "Regional rankings?" Hong Yen looked at him suspiciously. "Yes, regional rankings. The Mountain River list records the overall rankings, but there are specialized people in charge of arranging the rankings of the participants in each region. This is also an honor. For example, our Long Ao Nation will have specialized people who will arrange the rankings according to the participants from the Long Ao Nation. If Bei Xianming takes first place, then that is also an honor, and will be favored by our country's monarch, and will support him greatly." "So it was like that. Let's expose his dirty deeds." "Expose? We do not have any evidence, so whatever we say is useless. As long as we participate in the Mountain River list, then we will be enemies." Hong Yen did not speak anymore. Obviously, she did not think that there would be so many shady things going on in a competition. At the end of the mountain road was a pass. Wang Zhongshan handed over the document that was done in Sky Dragon City, and then passed through. A few 10th stage Spirit Corps disciple soldiers at the front of the pass looked at it seriously, and after confirming that there were no mistakes, they returned the document to Luo Xiaomiao. "Are all of you people preparing to participate in the Mountain River list?" The soldier looked at everyone and asked. "Yes, we are from Sky Dragon City," Luo Xiaomiao said. The soldiers nodded their heads. "That's right, the prestige of my Long Ao Nation will depend on all of you to fight for it." The cultivation of the soldiers were not low, but they would rather choose to be a border guard. The Long Ao Nation treated the soldiers extremely well, providing spirit coins, treasures, materials, and even a specialized training ground. A 10th stage Spirit Corps disciple was not considered high, and roaming the continent was too dangerous. Training under the protection of the nation was naturally the first choice, and thus, not everyone could become a soldier if they wanted to. "We will work hard," Luo Xiaomiao said. Other than Su Yun, the rest were all from Long Ao Nation. With that said, everyone was about to set off and continue on their way. "Oh, wait a minute, I forgot to tell you guys something." At this moment, the soldier on the other end suddenly shouted. Everyone turned and looked at him suspiciously. A few months ago, on the plains outside, there were two powerful beings who fought and killed the king of the plains, the empty sky-killing beast. The empty sky-killing beast was killed on the spot, and its corpse exploded, destroying half of the plains. Now, the plains is filled with dense miasma. If you guys want to cross the plains, I am afraid it will be extremely dangerous, and the other fierce beasts in the plains are fighting for the position of the Lord of the Plains, and have already started fighting. It is extremely chaotic there. I suggest that you guys take a detour, and go from the east side of Hengshi Mountain. What? Something like that actually happened? Everyone's face congealed. Hengshi Mountain? We have already wasted a lot of time on the road. If we go from Hengshi Mountain, we will need to waste at least 5 days. I am afraid we will not be able to participate in the Mountain River List competition. Wang Zhongshan's face darkened. Not being able to participate in the competition is better than losing our lives, right? You guys be careful. I have already told you guys. Don't blame us for not reminding you when you die. The soldier said, then returned to his post. Everyone looked at each other, hesitating. Chapter 266. What do we do now? Brother Wang, which way should we go? Luo Xiamiao turned and asked. If we really take a detour to Hengshi Mountain, I am afraid that we will not be able to make it to the registration time for the Mountain River List selection competition. At that time, everything will be wasted, and we cannot leave Hengshi Mountain. Wang Zhongshan said. But, if we don't go through Mount Hengshi, are we going to cross the grassland like this? If it was just the miasma, it would be easy to deal with, but the problem was that all the beasts on the grassland had walked out of their nests, and they were everywhere. Once we encounter a ferocious beast, it will be dangerous. A guard said worriedly. Wang Zhongshan lowered his head in silence. If he wasn't injured, he could cross the grassland without worry. But now, he was heavily injured and was already a burden. If he were to cross the grassland like this, wouldn't it be too easy for him to talk? Let's go to the grasslands. Just then, Su Yun suddenly spoke up again. Big brother Wu Yun. Hong Yan's gaze landed on him. For some reason, she felt that he seemed to be able to solve any problem. With him around, everyone in the group felt an indescribable sense of security. Brother Wu Yun, are we really going through the grasslands? Wang Zhongshan looked at him with a passionate gaze. Su Yun nodded. Let's go to the grasslands. I know of a shortcut that can quickly cross the grassland and avoid the beast. If you are willing to listen to my instructions, I think we should be able to cross this grassland in 2 days. 2 days? Everyone was shocked. Even if we go straight, we will need at least 5 days of time. Brother Wu Yun, you better not boast. One of the team members said in disbelief. Alas, Xin Hao, what are you saying? Brother Wu Yun is not an ordinary person. If he says 2 days can pass, then 2 days will definitely pass. Wang Zhongshan bellowed in a serious tone. Everyone listen up. From now on, everyone must listen to Wu Yun's commands. Whoever disobeys my orders, that means they are disobeying me. Wang Zhongshan. I will not do anything to such a person, but I will definitely not give the qualifications to participate in the Mountain River List competition. All of you, think about it carefully. We will listen to Big Brother Wu Yun's instructions. Everyone shouted. The team reorganized themselves and continued on their way. Su Yun led the team forward, stepping on the 1-meter-tall grass, heading into the distance. He looked around as if he was looking for something, then raised his head and stared at the sky for a while. The people behind were puzzled, but no one disturbed Su Yun. Slowly, the air was suffused with waves of aura that was dense like mist. The aura was pungent, and one could faintly smell the smell of blood, causing one to be unable to help but frown. Is this miasma? It's just a little bit of miasma. It's not enough to affect us. Su Yun raised his head and signaled for everyone to stop. The procession stopped. If we continue forward, we'll enter the miasma zone. Without pills that can resist this kind of special miasma, we won't be able to last long in the miasma. You guys wait here, I'll go ahead and scout the way. Su Yun said. Scout ahead? How? Everyone asked blankly. Su Yun suddenly raised his hand, and a cold light flew out from the sword sheath on his waist, straight into the sky. When the cold light stopped, everyone looked, and saw that it was a snow-white sword. Su Yun leaped into the air and stepped onto the sword. With a "so" sound, he flew into the sky and disappeared. So powerful, is that the imperial sword technique? Hong Yen, Luo Xiaomiao and the rest all revealed looks of envy. Could it be that Brother Wu Yun is truly a disciple of the immortal sword sect? His imperial sword technique is truly exquisite and pure. Wang Zhongshan could not help but exclaim in admiration. Immortal sword sect disciple? Why do I feel that he should be an elite disciple of the immortal sword sect? Just then, the member called Shun Hao spoke out. Elite disciple? Why do you say that? Sigh, Brother Wang, I have interacted with the disciples of the immortal sword sect before. Although they are disciples of the immortal sword sect, many of them do not know the imperial sword technique, and there are even fewer who are as proficient as Brother Wu Yun, so I feel that in the immortal sword sect, Brother Wu Yun is definitely not an ordinary person. That's right, and did you guys realize his weapon is so weird? Another member interrupted. Weird? Wang Zhongshan was startled. What's weird? Doesn't he use a sword? That's right, he does use a sword, but didn't you guys realize? He had a sword sheath hanging on his back, and on his back were two swords, but when he fought with Bei Xianming and the rest, Big Brother Wu Yun only used the swords in the sword sheath, and the two swords on his back. He did not move at all. Why doesn't he use them? Also, why does he have so many swords? Don't tell me he can control all these swords? How is that possible? He doesn't even know how to use one sword, why would he use so many? How can there be such a genius in the continent? Luo Xiaomiao shook his head and laughed. To be able to control so many swords, I reckon only the famous Limitless Sword Lord in the entire continent, but it's a pity that he disappeared for so many years, and no one knows where he went. I'm just thinking about it. Just as everyone was talking nonsense, they heard the sound of wind whistling in the sky, only to see Su Yun descending from the sky, quickly landing in front of everyone. Brother Wu Yun is back. Hong Yen called out. Su Yun kept his sword and leapt onto the purple-horned beast. I have already checked the surroundings, there are no fierce beasts nearby, everyone follow me. He did not stop for long, and with that said, he rode the purple-horned beast forward. Quick, follow him! Wang Zhongshan shouted, and immediately urged his own purple-horned beast to follow. Su Yun ran to the left for about an incense stick worth of time. After that, he took a deep breath and used his profound spirit qi to envelop himself, isolating himself from the miasma, and then rushed inside. Everyone became suspicious, but without hesitation they followed. After entering the miasma layer, they did not run for long before they left the miasma. In that moment, everyone understood that Su Yun had seen that the miasma layer in this place was the thinnest, which was why he had brought them through. After passing through the miasma layer, there was a small empty space without miasma, but in front and on the left and right, there was a large area filled with miasma. But there was something unique about this place, which was that there was a small river with a rapid flow. The river water was clear, but there was profound spirit qi in the water. Without question, there were fierce beasts in the river. Su Yun rode the purple-horned beast to the riverside, took a deep breath, and said, "From here onwards, I am afraid everyone will have to give up on the purple-horned beast. You want us to walk through the river?" Wang Zhongshan immediately understood Su Yun's meaning. That's right. Su Yun nodded his head. This river leads to the plains. We will jump into the river, instigate our profound spirit qi, with the force of the water. Our speed will be faster than riding the purple-horned beast. The water can isolate the miasma in the river. We will not be affected by the miasma. if there are no accidents, we will be able to leave the plains in 2 days. But, will it attract fierce beasts? If we are in the water, it will be difficult to move. If there are fierce beasts, it will be hard for us to defend. So if we meet any fierce beasts, we will have to run. In the water, we will not be able to fight with the fierce beasts, and running is the only way. But, the fierce beasts on the land are not scary, but the fierce beasts in the water, we have to be careful. Fierce beasts in the water? There are fierce beasts in the water? Who told you there are no fierce beasts in the water? Su-Yun glanced at the rapid flow of water and said, "All right, everyone, let's go in." In the end, everyone did not reject, since it was the only way. With Su-Yun leading the way, everyone lined up and one by one jumped in. Upon entering the water, they were struck by the rapid flow of the river. As long as they instigated a bit of profound spirit chi to move forward, they would fly forward. King Chong. Suddenly, Su-Yun, who was in front, pulled out the engraved dragon blade from the sword sheath. The snow-white sword shone with a light aura even in the water. It was dazzling. The sword tip flowed along the water, causing the people behind to have a strange feeling of palpitation. Su-Yun held onto the sword tightly. His eyes were like torches, staring straight ahead. In the next moment, he raised his arm and suddenly made his move. Quang Dang! A dense and huge sword chi directly flew forward. Like a blade cutting the water, the entire river was split apart. So strong. Luo Xiaomiao, Hong Yen and the rest who were behind felt their hearts twitch, their eyes opened wide. The sword chi rushed forward, striking onto a large spiked beast's body. The spiked beast was sliced in half, and dark red blood flowed out. Spiked beast, a low-grade fierce beast that lives in the rivers and seas. It also grows in the rivers. It usually sticks to the mud, waiting for other living beings to come near. All living beings that touch its spikes will immediately be paralyzed and absorbed. I never thought that there would be one here. Su-Yun used his profound spirit chi to separate the water from his mouth, and said, "Everyone be careful, do not touch its spikes, quickly go through. The blood of the spiked beast will attract other fierce beasts." Hearing that, everyone immediately increased their speed. Enduring the stench of the spiked beasts, the group of people finally left the area without any mishap. But the peace was not over. Just as Su-Yun was leading everyone forward. Bang! An intense explosion sounded out not far in front of them. Following that, the ground trembled, the river water started to churn, waves of ripples spread out, causing the people who were advancing to be thrown off their horses by the shockwave. It was extremely difficult. "What's going on?" Shen Hao grabbed onto a protruding rock on the river wall, and shouted loudly, because he shouted in time. He did not use his profound spirit chi to separate the river water, and directly swallowed a mouthful of water. "Everyone do not panic. This shockwave seems to be coming from far away, it is not aimed at us." Su-Yun stabilized his body and bellowed. He drilled out of the river, stuck his head out, and looked outside, but before he could take a look, a large amount of rocks whistled over. His heart was shocked, and he immediately raised his sword to slash, the sharp sword instantly splitting the big rock. Following that, he heard waves of deep and mournful roars. "The owner of the devouring moon grasslands is me. I am the king of this grasslands. You die. Damned ant, it's you." The roars did not stop, only to feel a fierce and berserk power following along with the sound. Su-Yun was startled. He looked, only to see two mountain-like existences intertwining, crazily attacking each other. Fierce beasts fighting? In that moment Su-Yun understood. But these two fierce beasts actually opened their mouths. What cultivation level was that? Chapter 267. In the Sky Martial Continent, regardless of whether it was fierce beasts, spirit beasts, demonic beasts or demonic beasts, they all had spirituality. The Creator did not say that humans were the masters of the continent, and there were many beings that were smarter than humans. When a fierce beast's cultivation was high, there would be obvious improvements in all aspects. Every type of fierce beast had their own methods of communication, but high-level fierce beasts would intelligently learn the human's method of communication, which was the human language. Relying on this technique, regardless of whether it was humans or beasts, it was extremely convenient. Especially for fierce beasts that knew illusion techniques, the human language allowed them to mix into the humans' group and wait for an opportunity to strike. Su Yun secretly activated the heavenly scale divine eye and glanced at the two fierce beasts. The one on the left was extremely large, it looked like a lion or tiger, its entire body was covered with granite, it had 6 claws, each of them extremely large, its mouth had 2 curved fangs, its entire body was releasing a surging green chi, the ground around it was crushed by its stomps, it was extremely formidable. The one on the opposite side was much skinnier, it had a huge head, both of its legs were on the ground, but both of its hands were short and slender, like a toad, but its mouth could swallow mountains and rivers, it was extremely huge, the fangs on its head were like nails, and what caused people's scalps to go numb was that every single one of its fangs was enveloped by an astonishing profound spirit chi, and its might was extremely terrifying. One was at the 10th stage of the spirit soul realm, the other was at the 9th stage of the spirit soul realm. Although they were not at the spirit star realm, to everyone these two fierce beasts were like 2 huge mountains that could not be reached. Against them, they had no hope of winning, even if Su Yun did not borrow the support of the heavenly crystal and other treasures, it would be difficult for him to fight against them. It's 2 fierce beasts fighting for the position of the overlord of the grasslands, let's quickly pass through, we must not stay here. Su Yun said to the people behind him who were peeking their heads out. What? 2 fierce beasts fighting? Luo Xiaomiao, Shun Hao and the rest's eyes lit up, joy pervading out. What are we going to do in this situation? The strength of these 2 beasts is definitely not low. Their skin, flesh, bones, and even hair are all treasures. Why don't we wait here for them to finish fighting, and after both of them are injured, we can attack together and reap the benefits of the third party. Isn't that better? Big Brother Shen Hao is right. These 2 vicious beasts are existences that we didn't even dare to think about in the past. If we can obtain their corpses, we won't have to worry about cultivation resources for the next 10 years. It will be of great help to our future training. Hong Yen was also restless and said anxiously. However, when these words landed in Su Yun's ears, it was extremely ear-piercing. You're all wrong. Such thoughts will only send you to your death, Su Yun said solemnly. Everyone was taken aback. Hong Yen looked at him. Big Brother Wu Yun, why do you say that? Su Yun shook his head and looked around. Do you think that we are the only ones who want to reap the benefits? Everyone was shocked. Are there other people around? Human? There were none, but there were countless powerful people. Countless vicious beasts that you don't even know how powerful they are. To be able to survive in these plains, how can they be ordinary people? I have been to the devouring moon plains a few times, and have a good understanding of this place. Most of the active beasts here are existences around the spirit soul realm, and with 2 powerful fierce beasts fighting here, how can they miss this opportunity? Yes, amongst the fierce beasts, there are truly cowardly existences. When the strong fierce beasts fight, they will hide and tremble, but there are also extremely ambitious fierce beasts. They thirst for a higher position, thirsting to devour the strong fierce beasts to make themselves stronger. The commotion caused by the 2 fierce beasts' fight is so huge, I am afraid it has already attracted countless of fierce beasts. Along the way, we have not met any fierce beasts, which proves this point. Hearing that, everyone was speechless. Furthermore, there is miasma everywhere, we have nowhere to hide, and wait for them to finish fighting, and reap the benefits? That is not wise. If the 10th stage of the spirit soul realm cultivators fight, it is enough to flatten this place, and we will definitely be affected. Let's not stay here, let's quickly leave. Su Yun had traveled extensively in his previous life, and knew much more than others. Reap the benefits? That was because the fisherman was stronger than the sandpiper and clam. He had the strength to watch from the side, but Su Yun and the rest could not. If the sandpiper and clam were to fight, it would affect them, and it would not be worth it. Furthermore, they were not the only fishermen. Wang Zhongshan and the rest heard that Su Yun's analysis was correct, so they returned to the bottom of the river and continued their journey. Although Shen Hao and the rest were extremely unwilling, but the current situation did not allow them to stay for long. Furthermore, the surrounding was filled with miasma. How could they stay? The two fierce beasts fought until the sky and earth turned upside down, while Su Yun and the rest had already passed through. After a few days, the group of people left the devouring moon plains safely. Just as they left the plains, Shen Hao and the rest started to grumble. What a pity! What a pity! What a pity! This is an opportunity, Wu Yun, you actually did not grasp it. This is a chance for us to soar to the heavens. Shen Hao sighed. Wrong this time, who knows when we will meet it again? Sigh. Everyone sighed again. Hey, big brother Wu Yun did not stop you. If you want to go, then go ahead. Why are you blaming big brother Wu Yun after coming out? You guys are really too much. Hong Yen said angrily. Forget it, I won't say any more. Shen Hao mumbled and walked away. Everyone did not have their purple-horned beasts, so they could only walk. After leaving the plains, they entered the northern continent. It was not their first time here, and they knew what they had to do next. The group of them activated their profound spirit chi and increased their speed to the maximum. Very quickly they reached the nearest city. After buying the purple-horned beasts in the city, they continued to head towards the Wenzhen region. As time passed, everyone got closer to the Wenzhen region, and their state of mind became more and more excited. 10 days later. This is the Huailin region. After passing through here, we will reach the Wenzhen region. After entering the Wenzhen region, we will not have to travel much further to Qin Creek. Everyone, we will reach our destination soon. Wang Zhongshan, who had a pale face, said excitedly. Everyone continued on their way. Just that, everyone was still worried about Wang Zhongshan's injuries. Seeing how excited he was, it was as though he did not care about the injury on his abdomen. Young master, you better not participate. What is more important than your life? I heard that after participating in the Mountain River list, as long as you do not die, you can fight however you want. If anything happens to you on the stage, how are we going to explain to the Wang family? The guards all said with bitter faces. Explain? What explanation? The Wang family is basically under my control now. You just have to explain to me. I will be fine. You don't have to worry. Wang Zhongshan swallowed a pill and said nonchalantly. Seeing that, everyone could only give up on persuading him. The group continued on their way. After a few days, they finally entered the most border city of the Wenzhen region. And inside the city, there were many Mountain River list selection teams that came from all over the place. The tea houses, restaurants, inns and other places in the city were all filled with people. All of the shops in the Wenzhen region were filled to the brim with business. Everyone walked on the streets, seeing the bustling city. They were all moved. Wang Zhongshan immediately sent people to arrange for an inn to rest. They had been rushing for a long time, and were about to reach their destination, so it was time for them to rest. The group stopped and prepared to rest for the day. Wang Zhongshan entered the inn and went back to his room to recuperate, while the rest of the people started to cultivate and recuperate. Su Yun did not consume much energy along the way, and after sitting in the inn for a while, he went out alone and walked towards the main street. Everyone here was a participant, so he needed to get to know the participants better. Since he had decided to enter the Mountain River list, he had to make ample preparations. Su Yun did not dare to be arrogant. Previously, the 9th stage Spirit Core disciple Qi Shaoluan from Bei Xianming's group had shocked him. Although Qi Shaoluan's cultivation was not high, her treasures were astonishing, and actually allowed her to fight against the bandit leader. If Bei Xianming's group was so difficult to deal with, then what about the seated participants of the Mountain River list? What kind of situation was that? Although his treasures were powerful, did he really have the advantage? Su Yun was completely clueless. Dressed in a pitch-black Blademaster outfit, wearing a mask, carrying the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword and death sword on his back, with a sword sheath, he mixed into the crowd and walked along the main street. After walking a few steps, he heard a commotion in front of him. Looking over, he saw two spirit cultivators fighting. Since there were so many spirit cultivators gathered, naturally there would be fights. Where there were people, there would be dispute. Su Yun glanced at the people present. Most of them were spirit core disciples, and very few of them were spirit soul disciples, who were in the first or second stage. Isn't that Prince Fu Su? Just then, an exclamation came out from the crowd. Many of the passers-by turned their gazes and looked to the side. What? Prince Fu Su is also participating in the Mountain River list? This is bad. Why can't Prince Fu Su participate in the Mountain River list? This cultivator friend, what do you have to be bad about? You still want to fight against Prince Fu Su? He is a seated participant. He is actually a seated participant. What do you think? Prince Fu Su is a famous genius in the southern Julian region. He had once fought against a fifth-stage spirit-soul disciple and was not at a disadvantage. Who knows how strong he is now? With his methods, entering the top 20 of the Mountain River list is definitely not difficult. So powerful. Everyone started to discuss, sighing with emotions. A large number of spirit cultivators rushed towards the luxurious attire, the elegant young master who was dressed like a jade. Everyone passionately greeted him, and the majority of them looked at him with respect and worship. Fu Su? Su Yun was startled. He never thought that he would meet him here. Just as Su Yun was sizing Fu Su up, a lady behind him wearing a broken mask that only covered half of her face attracted his gaze. A strange sense of familiarity rose in his heart. This woman, where have I seen her before? And her mask and the mask that he was wearing in the past were so similar. Was it a coincidence? Su Yun thought. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.